Well, what's happening, people? It's time for this first of our 4-hour March Love Madness live streams. And I was sitting there today and I was thinking, why did I let myself be talked into this? That means I have to be here till 7 o'clock. It's like I hadn't done the math. But anyway, I got some interesting stuff to talk with you guys about. And hey, Shay, what's happening, everybody? Some interesting stuff to talk to you about. Some of it's been suggested by viewers, listeners, whatever you want to call them, and some of the stuff I found. Plus, we have, yes, be quiet, Tracy. Tracy's like, I want to have a week-long stream. Plus, we got the advice questions, and I'm going to start with those. These are here. Oh, shit, wait a minute. About to knock over a whole pile of papers. All the stuff I want to talk about today. And this, what is this? Nope, not that. Okay. All right, let's start with the advice. Oh, we got 26 questions today. We'll probably have more than that next week because I have a feeling, because I ran out of questions last time. And so I think Candace is just going to load me up. So let's get started. Hey, I know you want a week long. That wasn't anybody paying no attention to what you're talking about. Get out of here. Question number 1. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. Summary of issue. How do I tell someone over text that I want to set a boundary? Okay, so I'm fairly new to relationships. I've only had 2 in my life. I'm currently in my 3rd one, and our relationship has had rough times, and I love our memories. I don't want to break up with him, though. I'm 19 and he's 19. When we fight, we tend to say hurtful things, and I understand why he has some problems at home, but I just want to talk about it over text since we are long distance. But we are going to see each other in 2 weeks after 3 months of not seeing each other. How do I go on this topic without sounding like I want to fight? I don't understand the question. What is you? Oh, you were talking about his problems at home? So you want to put off him talking about his problems until you see him in 2 weeks. But he's having a problem now, and he wants to talk about it now. And you are just want to just, push him away to talk about it by text. That is the mindset of someone who is silly. Okay, so I'm glad you said this is only your 3rd relationship, because what's going on here is basically, you're shutting him down. You're shutting him down when you do that. So it makes it feel like you don't care about him having a problem, and you're not there to help him resolve it. You don't even want to be a listening board to him. You just want him to deal with it by himself and tell you by text. That's so immature and so distant. Texting is not really, it's not there. It doesn't develop any kind of closeness. It's not meant for whole conversations. In spite of the fact that that's how y'all young folks use it, it's not meant to be that way. So I'm going to say this. Either you learn to be a support system for your partner, because otherwise they don't need you, or you just break up. Those are your only 2 options. Because, in a relationship, you're not the only one there. Your feelings are not the only ones that matter. You have to listen to your partner and stuff. That's why I'm not in one, because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to listen to nobody's problem. I got my own. I listen to these problems every week, and then we talk about them. That's enough for me, okay? I don't want to be, I'm just past that stage. I'm in a stage of life where I just want to talk about me, focus on me, and be all about me. Spend all my money on me. Spend all my time on me. So I'm not really looking for a relationship, and that's the reason why. These are the expectations. If you're not going to give of yourself to the person who's giving to you, what do they need you for? So I need you to really think about that. Okay. You might be in a long distance relationship because of the fact, not like it's just a circumstance, but you chose that because you don't really want to be close to anybody. You don't really want to be intimate with them emotionally. You don't want to be vulnerable, and you don't really want to be there for them. You just want to have this figment of your imagination that you have a relationship somewhere in the universe. So think about that too. because that might be your problem. Because I don't do long distance. It's like if you can't get to me in 30 minutes or less. I used to say 15, but the traffic in the Bay Area is so bad. So I had to, ramp that up a little bit. But if you can't get to me in 30 minutes, you're geographically undesirable. And I don't want to be bothered. And that's long distance to me. Like from here to San Jose, that's too far. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Wow, this is kind of interesting. All right. Question number 2. This is a young woman in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. Friend/coworker keeps texting me every time she sees my boyfriend at work, and now she wants to be best friends with him. Oh, really? So my boyfriend is 30 and I'm 27, and we met a few months ago at this football game. Our job gave the division free tickets to go out and watch. I had a huge crush on him at work, and when we finally met, we immediately hit it off. We started exclusively dating a month later, and we have a really healthy and happy relationship. We work at, okay, so you met a few, so you've been with him a couple of months, it looks like. We work at this huge corporation and basically do not work together at all. The only time we really see each other is walking to the cafeteria. I told my coworker, who I also consider a friend, that I had a crush on him months before we actually met. Then when we finally met and started dating, I also told her about it, and she seemed really happy for me. I told my boyfriend that she is one of my friends and he knows of her. Her and I don't really hang out that much, maybe once every few months. After we started dating, she would start texting me every time she saw him and the awkward encounters. She would tell me that he didn't acknowledge her or say hi. At first, I thought it was funny, but then it became kind of odd. She would say things like, I saw your man in the cafeteria. This happened almost daily. I also want to mention that she also told me about guys at work she had a crush on, but I wouldn't text her every time that I saw them. They finally met because we went to dinner one night per her request. She said she really liked him and then started talking about how if he wanted to watch football games, she would be down. I think she meant it as all of us together, though, but it was still odd to start coming off so strong after the first meeting. We do not even hang out that much, but she all of a sudden wants to do all this stuff together. Then the next day after she met him, she texted me again. Did your boyfriend tell you that he finally said hi to me? There was something in my mind or gut thinking this was really weird. And my boyfriend also found it weird. She basically kept tabs on him at work. So my question to you is, am I overthinking this or is this weird and should I say something? Oh, you should have said something when she started talking about going to watch football. I mean, before that, telling you that she saw him or stuff, that's irritating. But, you could have shut that down too, saying, look, I don't need you to keep tabs on my boyfriend. And I don't want to hear, every time that you see him, keep that to yourself. Okay. That was one thing. The second, but once she did that and you were right there and you didn't shut that shit down, what was wrong with you? You're supposed to say, my boyfriend want to watch football. He's going to be watching it with me, not you. Two is a couple, three is a crowd, and we don't like crowds. You should have said, something like that. It's nothing that she could run to HR and say that you hurt her or anything, but definitely shut that down. And you didn't say anything. So now she's just going to be running rampant. So at this point, what you need to do is tell your boyfriend that, and you guys need to be on the same page with this. He needs to make sure that if she says anything to him, he says, look, I don't know what your game is here, but I have a girlfriend and I'm not trying to add anything to the mix. We're not trying to be friends with you like that. You're not going to be going on dates with us. We're not going to be hanging out with us. And if I see you and I say hello, then that's good. But sometimes I may not do that either. He needs to step up. He needs to shut this down. And then on your end, if she starts getting jiggy, then like I said, you got to shut it down on her side too. Yeah, she's terribly messy. But the main thing is the boyfriend thinking it's odd is not good enough. He has to say something to her to shut her down. Like, I understand, you be telling my girl every time you see me, what the hell is that about? That's inappropriate. Stop doing that. And I'm not going to ever ask you to watch football with me or go anywhere with me either, because I have a girlfriend and that's just not cool. So stop suggesting stuff like that. It sounds weird. He shut it down. That's what he needs to do. And too bad he didn't do it right then and there. Both of you guys missed a golden opportunity. Oh, wait until later to answer stuff. Question number 3. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. I just found out that my boyfriend impregnated a girl 8 years ago. Okay, so he's 27 and she's 22. Me and my boyfriend have been together for almost a year now. It's been going well. We've met each other's families as well. However, I just accidentally found out that he impregnated a girl when he was 19 and was really drunk one night. He asked her to get a termination since they were just a one-night stand. They were never in contact again. He has never told me about this, and I'm sure he never will. I'm still really shocked and feel like I've lost some of my trust in him. Now I'm stuck in my head with should I let it go since it was his teenage mistake or should I confront him? I want you to shut the fuck up. Nothing about what happened to him when he was 19 is your goddamn business. 10 years later. Wait, 8 years later. Not your business, chick. And if you go up to him trying to confront him, you're likely to get cussed out. And why do you think he should tell you about some other woman's health business? Haven't you heard of HIPAA? Why would he go around blabbing about what some other woman did? Who does that? And who in their right mind would even think that that was an appropriate thing to ask somebody about? It's none of your fucking business, okay? So keep your mouth shut and stop thinking that you regulate everything and talking about you lost some trust. Trust how? He didn't lie to you. He just didn't tell you some business that's extremely personal and from his past. It wasn't because it's none of your concern. It don't concern you, and it don't concern your relationship with him. So there's no reason for you to know. That's why he didn't tell your nosy ass. Oh my God. These girls these days, I don't even know what they think. They just own these dudes or something. It's just the most bizarre behavior ever that I've ever seen or heard of. So what he impregnated? He could have impregnated a bunch of people that he don't even know he impregnated. Now what? Question number 4. This is a young man well, not young, it's a male, 35 to 42. Summary of issue. Is a man's height really an issue or just something that women say? What do you guys say? Put your vote in there. That'd be interesting. Is height really a concern to you or is it just something to talk about? It's a concern to me because I'm short by myself. As long as he's taller than me, it's okay. So you don't have to be a giant, at least 5'7" though, because I'm 5'5". So he's at 5'7", we're good. But all the dudes I always dated was like 5'9", 10, 11, 12, and 6 feet and over. I'm 5'9". I used to always say, height don't make the man. My ex-wife was 5'11", and it was mentioned between us in the beginning, but that was it. Once we got married, had a kid, bought a house, and we make life work for our family, it never really came up again. There was way more to deal with in everyday life. I think if you are a man that knows how to be a husband, father, and how to handle business, this will never come up in any legitimate way. I've heard women say a man needs to be at least 6 feet tall for protection. Well, I don't know what fools those are. The first thing that comes to my mind is maybe you live in the wrong area if you are constantly under attack. Secondly, would there be a lot of Navy SEALs that are 5'6"? So you obviously don't need to be 6 feet to protect somebody. Exactly. Look at what's his name, Jet Li and Bruce Lee and all them kung fu flipping folks. They're little dudes, but they will clean your clock right quick. So and most boxers and stuff, wrestlers, they don't tend to be that tall. I mean, like The Rock, of course, they're different, but most of them guys, they're not that tall. So I don't know what women you have been listening to that have said that. It's more a man's strength than his height, because these days, they got them little tall, lanky looking beam pole looking dudes. I wouldn't trust they could barely lift a chair. So I mean, yeah, but they're tall, but so what? I want you to have some muscles. And it's like I said, as long as you're 5'7" and above, for me, that works. My husband was he was only 5'8". He wasn't that tall. Tall enough to win my heart. But yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of women are fixated on that 6 feet thing. I could see it if you like a 5'10", 5'9", 10, 11 chick yourself. But other than that, I mean, it's just irrelevant and just unnecessary. And what for? You hurt your neck when you try to kiss them and stuff. You got to bend your neck all back. That loses its charm after a while. Question number 5. This is the female in the 18 to 21 age group. Summary of issue. How do I get over someone who doesn't want to be with me? It's like I don't care that he doesn't care about me in the same way. I just want to give so much of me up without an expectation of anything in return. And I know I should care more about myself more. I should want more. Okay, I'm reading this, not there's not a comma or a period in sight. I should want, but I deserve more, and he doesn't deserve me. But none of that seems to matter to me, and it's driving me insane because he's who I want to be with in every spare moment. He's who I want to wake up to. He's who I want to play games with. And it's not like if I asked, hadn't say no. If I asked to hang out, what? I don't know what she's right. To hang out, he'd say yes. I know I can have these moments with him. I just shouldn't. I don't know. I just wish I wasn't so weak and stupid. I do too. I also wish that you hadn't cut your English class because this is some poorly written bullshit right here for you to be that old. And, commas, semicolons, periods, ellipses, dashes, all of those things should be in your capitalization. None of that is here. Okay. And you worrying about a boy. Worry about getting some fat on your head. Okay. This is stupid. This is an embarrassing thing for you to be walking with this, for your writing skills to be this poor, and you focused on some boy liking you. He's not going to like you because you're dumb. You're 18 to 21. Please stay in school. Get you a remedial English class. Take some grammar and punctuation as part of it. Study up on that real hard and improve your writing and communication skills. Writing is a big part of work. So you get out and you try to have any kind of decent job, you're going to have to write things like reports, emails, summaries, I don't know, business letters. You're going to have to write as part of your employment. This here will get you fired. So get on this. Okay, you have more important things to worry about than some boy. This is just like, this is terrible. This is terrible. But anyway, let me take a break from advice. Let me take a break from advice and let's talk about this article I found that says how to spot a single and desperate woman in her 30s. Now, I couldn't quite figure out if the point of this was to avoid these kind or for men to be able to identify them for conquests. I wasn't really sure about the approach here. It's written by a guy. So, I'm like, So anyway, he says many women who are single and in their late 30s today never saw it coming. They had a plan, finish their first degree, master's, a job, a promotion, make money, be independent, and settle down by 30, latest 32. Of course, nature always laughs back at their fantastic attempt to dictate the pace of their lives. Over the years, they turn down potential husbands, go on partying sprees like they have frozen time, only to arrive at 37 with nothing to show for it other than money in the bank, a car, and sometimes a child from a relationship that never quite worked. So now they are stuck in a place where they will never find a man of their dreams and have to settle for any man who will be gracious enough to even suggest marriage. By now, all those flaky, flimsy, and shallow standards they used to have are gone. Humility is their second name. Okay, Mr. Bitter Bobby. All right, so what else is he talking about? So he says he's seen women in their 20s buy into the misguided feminist belief that men in marriage are bad for their academic and career advancement. What feminism does is that factors in that an older woman gets, the less the chance she stands of marrying someone desirable. It is a fact, not a chauvinistically inspired thought. Very few men will marry a 35-year-old woman who is independent and opinionated when we live in a highly hypergamous, the act of marrying someone wealthier than you society. There are plenty of young and beautiful women ready to settle into marriage where they play the second fiddle as long as the man provides. Well, then go find one of those. I mean, what's the problem? The world is made up of a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff. Baskin Robbins has at least 31 flavors of ice cream, right? So why can't there be 31 different types of women with different needs and stuff? Why do these men expect every woman to be the same? Focus on them. Psh. Okay. It is good to be ambitious, even better to break glass ceilings, but at what price? Bottom line, at some point, you will need a man in your life. Granted, there are leses and some who are not interested in marriage, but they be married too, though. What you talking about? But my experience with older single women has proven that they're mostly live a life full of regrets. Obviously, you have not talked to the single women on this channel. You haven't talked to many single women, especially of black and brown, who don't have any regrets and living high on the hog and loving every second of it. So I don't know who he's talking about. Today, let me share with you the signs that a woman is likely to end up single and lonely and probably a pet keeper. Is this pissing you guys off? He's so stupid. Number one, she values education and career over marriage and relationship. You know why? Because her education is something that she can have forever. Relationships and marriages come and go. Like sometimes people look at Liz Taylor, she married 10 times. Okay. A lot of people have been married, they're on their third or fourth husband or wife by now. So, I mean, why would you bank your life on something that may or may not really come through for you when education, nobody can take that from you and you can always apply it and make money with it? Okay. So that's a woman who's going for something that's secure and dependable versus some air shit. Number two, at age 28, she has more liquor in her refrigerator than fruits and vegetables. Well, what's in yours, sir? Why are you talking about what? Most men don't have they have some dried up bologna, some moldy bread, and a bunch of beers or water or something like that. At age 27, she's quaffing neat whiskeys like a sailor. Okay, and what's that got to do with you? Number four, she's into cigarette smoking or in worst case scenario, addicted to the herbalicious. Number five, her idea of fun at age 30 is a night out with the girls. Nothing wrong with that. At age 30, she will still insist on dating tall, dark, and handsome guy who is married and with a six-pack to boot. Ooh, this is a bitter Bobby for real. The idea of cooking for a man is a total turnoff to her. Cook for your damn self. Shit. She has never forgiven her father for abusing her mother, or her first boyfriend used to abuse her, and she now thinks every man is violent and controlling. Number nine, she is so much into fashion, and her fortnightly combined expenditure on manicures, pedicures, and hairstyling is enough to settle 1 month's rent for a 3-bedroom house in South Sea, South Carolina. I don't know what South Sea is. I'm going to say this. You let a woman not have her hair done and not have her nails done and not have her feet done and watch what kind of hell she catches from men. They need to be on Facebook talking about women who wore underwear like the bra and panties didn't match. And they was like going off on about that. That was in the like early 2000s. There was a whole contingent of men that, was on that track. Like, their underwear don't even match. So, they be looking at stuff like this. That's why women do it. Plus, it looks neater. I don't be bothered, but sometimes I get my feet done. She is turned on, number 10, she is turned on more by boardroom politics than the pleasurable and human joys of holding her baby. So you just supposed to be breeding. There's no other option for you ladies. You can't be excited about making money or having power and making big moves. You have to be breeding for him to get your approval. She can't imagine, this is number 11, she can't imagine giving birth naturally and rather opt for a C-section. And as far as she is concerned, breastfeeding is a 3-week exercise before the kids are introduced to formula. Well, then you breastfeed it. Since you think it's such a grand, wonderful thing, you do it. Oh, I forgot you can't. So shut the fuck up. Number 12, she owns more pants than skirts at the age of 30. That's right, they're more comfortable. Number 13, she loves having multiple nook partners. So she can weed out the ones of y'all that can't put it down in the last 30 seconds. Number 14, her job involves a lot of traveling and she's not even 30 yet. Good for her. Number 15, she can easily find a parking spot at a packed nightclub than her way to church. Ain't nobody trying to go to church. You tripping. Number 16, she believes in absolute equality in marriage without any sacrifice or compromise. Oh, so those are his things. So, and this is his idea of how to spot a single and desperate woman in her 30s. Does that sound like a woman who's desperate to you when she got herself, she balling like that and living her life and having herself a good old time? See, these kind of men, they just can't stand it when women don't do what they want them to do. When you have a thought and you have a plan for your life and you try to do anything that they feel like competes with them or makes them have to work harder to, to shine and get your acknowledgement and stuff, they can't stand it. They can't stand it. They want to just get kudos and feel like a big man on campus just for existing, just for walking around with a ding-a-ling. That's what they want. So anytime a woman steps outside of this little box that they want to put you in of womanhood, then they have to label you negatively so to try to make you feel bad about yourself. That's why I read this, because a lot of young women, they're on this thing now where, maybe all those femininity channels that was popular a couple of years ago, they preach this kind of stuff. And so it had a lot of young women confused about, if I go and get this advanced degree, especially young Black girls, if I go and get an advanced degree, is that going to make me unmarriageable? It might if you with some high school dropout clown, but you with a brother who went to college himself, or white guy or Asian, whatever, somebody who's educated and who values education just like you do, he's going to be pleased because he don't want no ignorant woman raising his kids. He can't bring home some dummy to his family when everybody up in his house and his family's got master's degrees and PhDs and shit. And you come walking in there with your high school diploma. That's not going to work. So, this kind of stuff that this guy is talking about, he's trying to limit you as a woman and like put you in a box where you can't be great. You can't achieve greatness on your own. You have to feel like you have to get it because some man gave it to you or some man validated your existence by asking you to marry him, date him, live with whatever. Okay, you are great on your own. And man, this thing about this is how, this was my personal thought. Okay, let me just put it that way. I want to be the fantabulous cake all by myself. A relationship to me is like frosting. Okay, it might make the cake better. It might not. It might make the cake, destroy the wonderful taste of the cake. Make the cake too sweet. Make the cake too heavy. You never know. It might spoil on the cake, and then the whole thing has to get thrown away. So but you should have your cake, which is you, should be delicious, fluffy, delectable, all of those things by yourself. Then when you meet a man who can augment that, who makes your cake better, then that's who you get with. These clowns like this talking about, well, you need to do this and that. I'll be kissing the inside of my ass. How about you do that? Well, yeah, he doesn't feel like he's a big shot, so he wants you to make yourself lesser. That's the only way they feel. Like I said, they want to get kudos and rewards and acknowledgement for doing nothing, just being what I call basic. Have a job and went to school and have an apartment and a car. That's a basic man. There's a lot of basic women too that would be fine with that. But if you are going to be achieving greatness yourself, you need a man who's great. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. You're not going to respect him anyway. And it's not going to work. Yes, honey, you got to be fluffy and delectable. All that. So, okay. And on that desperate woman trick, let's read this one too. I think I have two of these. Do I have another one? Hold on a second. Because I read that, I was like, oh, this guy here, he just needs to be pushed off a cliff or something. 11 warning signs of a desperate woman that turn guys off. Now, this might be interesting because we do have a lot of girls that write to this column, and probably some are in the column tonight. and I think are desperate. Okay, so he says when you experience failure, dark and awful thoughts come to your mind. Maybe you were clingy or less pushy. Well, in this article, I will list the signs of a desperate woman, which might help you understand why it didn't work the first time and how you can improve your worth. Okay, so he goes on, about women being in a desperate cycle of seeking affirmation from men who are like ready to take advantage of such a broken girl and treat her poorly. Exactly. So then he says a section, why are some women desperate? Well, it can be difficult to explain sometimes, but the signs of a desperate woman are there. Some women are attention seekers and they want all the focus on them from the first date onward. Yeah, those are the ones who like they want to start expecting the boy to act like a boyfriend. Like, he doesn't return my text and he doesn't, call me and he's okay, you just met that clown. That's not your man. What are you doing? Well, I was sad to find out he's dating other people. So you should be too. He's not your man. Okay, you just met him. Let's be clear here. Remember stay focused. Don't be going into la la land. So yeah, then they get upset because the guy doesn't pay them the kind of attention that they think he should be paying for a quote boyfriend when he never signed up for that job. He never even had that conversation with you. So yeah, I see that. So if you come off as a desperate person, it's a huge red flag for men. Maybe some women think that behavior is that men like. They saw it on social media or somewhere else that a man likes a clean, needy woman. It's wrong to think that men don't like a challenge. Men do like the thrill of the chase and they prefer quality over quantity. Well, some men do, he says. Okay. I'm trying to find where he gets into the. Okay, here we go. The signs of a desperate woman, because he just is like full of all his rhetoric. Number one, social media is her best friend. A desperate person who has low self-esteem will post dozens of pictures of themselves half naked and wearing questionable outfits just to wait, what? Did some of this cut off? Hold on a second. Just to show her crush who is the boss. If you seek this attention by putting questionable pictures on social media, just stop. These pictures will forever stay on the internet and your self-esteem will be shattered. After all, you will realize at one point that you have done and there's no taking it back. Alas, you should not be posting sad or negative pictures just to get his attention because he won't notice you, believe me. Or he'll notice and think, wow, this is what a weirdo. I'm not doing that with her anymore. Number two, she seeks constant attention. Okay, these are the ones who are clingy. He says a desperate woman in a relationship wants to stay as close as possible to her man and constantly ask questions such as, where were you last night? And who are you with? And so on. I know, and checking phones and checking emails and smelling underwear and all kind of crazy shit. Like, woo! Yes, it's sweet that you think about your man and surprise him from time to time, but being needy or clingy will get you nowhere. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's move on to reason number 3. She is always checking her dating apps. I'm not saying you cannot meet your potential partner on a dating app, but if you are constantly swiping and refreshing pages, it's a surefire way to identify a desperate woman. A desperate woman will constantly refresh her dating files and search for a potential partner, even though she could live her life and let fate do the job instead. So, yeah. Even after finding a potential partner, she will bombard him with tons of questions that are far too intimate because she will rush into things. That's true. I had a friend who did that. I know I told you guys about this one time. We had to stop kind of hanging out because she was weird. But we went to have breakfast at this place. After we clubbed in San Francisco, we came across the bridge. And then we stopped in Jacqueline Square at this place that, served breakfast at like 2 in the morning. But there was a line, so we had to wait. But I had to pee. So I would go through there, the restaurant, and go to the bathroom. And on my way back, I noticed that this guy was sitting at a booth by himself, like a whole booth, like a circle kind that could hold like 8 people. And he was sitting there by himself. And there's like this whole long line of people. So then I went up to him. I said, "Are you waiting for some people?" And he said, "No." So I said, "Well, I am here with my friend and we're really hungry. Do you mind if we sit here with you?" And he said, "Oh, no, that'd be great." So I go get her. We come back, right? So she sees the guy. The dude was cute. And she sat, like she wiggled herself into the booth and sit next to him. And I sat on the other side of her. I could have went on the other side and sat on the other side of him, but I just didn't. I don't know why. I just didn't. So she was in the middle between us. And she started, okay, the dude, she's like, she introduced herself. I introduced myself. He introduced himself. And then she starts grilling him. Like, "Oh, so what do you do for work? Well, what kind of car you drive? Where do you live?" And this the stuff that, if I was him, I would have said, "Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. You here to eat breakfast, not interview me." But he was very polite and he, didn't say anything like that. But that was the first time I seen somebody do that. So I know just what he's talking about. She was just putting the mash on dude because dude was fine. He was fine. He's an architect too. Turned out he was, I had some little money. But I was like, man, he kept looking at me like, like he wanted me to say something. I'm not saying shit. I'm not trying to save you. Save yourself. My job here is to eat pancakes and bacon, and that's what I'm here to do. Other than that, y'all do what you do. Okay, then he says point number 4, she doesn't learn from her previous mistakes. Yep. Keep finding the same man with a different face. Signs of a desperate woman is when she doesn't learn from her previous relationship and ends up making the same mistakes as she did with her ex. So you might ask, what makes a woman look desperate? Well, if you've caught yourself getting back with your ex, even though he treated you poorly, that is one sign of a desperate woman. Exactly. Are the ones who, like, the dude treats them real bad and they break up and then they be sitting up there writing in talking about, "Oh, should I get back with him? I'm thinking about getting back with him." You were so afraid of being lonely, so you got back together with him and repeated the same mistake you made the first time. Or what's even worse, a desperate woman might at first reject her ex, who was truly sorry for breaking up, and then end up calling him a couple of weeks after that. She wants the attention he might give her, and she needs to have the security of a potential second chance with him. That's why they don't block them. Remember how I always point that out? They have the exes and they don't block the ex, and then they want to call and complain. "Oh, he keeps texting me. He keeps calling me. I don't know what to do." So he says you should not reply or answer every time he calls you out of the blue. Not hearing from him or repeating your mistakes will make you look desperate, and you will feel bad afterwards. Your self-esteem will be crushed, and you end up being hurt all over again. Reason number 5, she's always fishing for compliments. You know those types. "Oh, now what does this look like? Oh, I feel so fat in this dress, and my hair is a mess today." So you can say, "Oh no, it's fine," or "No, that looks good on you." That's what they're after. So when they say that, "Oh, I feel so fat today," I should be like, "Well, what did you eat that made you feel fat?" I'm not gonna buy into it. So maybe you shouldn't eat that anymore. Yeah, because your face does look kind of puffy, look kind of bloated. Did you drink enough water? So don't do that. Don't play those games with me because I will hurt your feelings every single time. Number 6, she forces a relationship. So you went on a date and he seemed great. He said to you that he wants to take things slowly because he was hurt and wants to get to know you. A desperate woman will force a man into a relationship anyway. She doesn't respect his wishes and doesn't want to just date. It's important for her to have that affirmation that she has someone to be with. It's not important if he treats her poorly or if he's a player or a drunk. A desperate woman doesn't search for any positive qualities in a man. As long as it's convenient, she will settle for such a guy, and she will proclaim whether she has a relationship even before he gets to talk to her about it. Remember what I was saying earlier? That's what the dude don't even know that he's in a relationship. He ain't agreed to be in a relationship. He don't even know that you're talking about telling people that that's your boyfriend. And he's like, when did we start dating? When did that happen? And then you get your face cracked talking about, "Oh, it's our 3-month anniversary." He's like, 3 months anniversary. What are you talking about? We're not even a couple. What are you saying? Those are the women that get their face cracked like that. Number 7, she never stops talking. A desperate woman will never stop talking about her positive qualities. It's like she has something to prove. If you don't stop talking about all the amazing sides of yourself, how do you expect a guy will stick around and be interested enough to get to know you? Maybe a desperate woman does this because she's afraid that he might lose interest if she doesn't show her funny or smart side. Men like women who are a little secretive about themselves, women who don't lay all their cards on the table immediately. Try and lay them out, never lay them on the table at all, ever. Not all of them. You should always hold back at least 10%. Never tell a man everything about yourself. Women who do that are foolish. Foolish, foolish, foolish. I don't care if you've been married 100 years. It should be something about yourself that he does not know, preferably a couple of things. Yeah, that's my own personal viewpoint. I'll never tell a man everything about me, about nothing. Not his fucking business. A guy who is seriously into a woman will stick around and try to find out as much as possible before entering a relationship. Yep, he sure will. Remember, you don't need to impress anyone. You should ask yourself whether he's good enough for you. Exactly. That's what I always say. Stop focusing on what he is and focus on if he's good for you. Number 8, she has the wrong image of what love is. But we're talking about this guy's article, 11 warning signs of a desperate woman that turn guys off. That's what this article is that we're discussing. So, and then what did I say? He said, hold on a second. I forgot that quick. She has the wrong image of what love is. Okay, so what is, as long as y'all in agreement on what love is, because you know the different ways that people display love. As long as y'all on the same page and your love language is the same, it should be fine. There's no one definition of love. So I disagree with him there. As long as a couple match, they'll be fine. But if yours is, something and hers is something else, it's not going to work. Like blowing up his phone and social media won't get you anywhere, and neither will stalking him. Exactly. That's signs of total desperation. Number 9, she's always available. Them the kind of bras that have plans with their friends, and some dude calls and says he wants to take them out. She'll dump her friends and go out with the guy, even though she may have just met the dude. And they don't have no kind of serious nothing going on. But that's how she is. She's desperate for male attention and desperate to try to have a man. And if you have a friend like that, dump her. Don't stay her friend, because that's not gonna work. And the guy will know that he has her wrapped around his finger and can treat her however he wants. Exactly. Because you don't treat, if you want to respect yourself and respect your other relationships, and you want to model for him that that's how you are, then you would say, oh, that's me. I would have loved to do that, but I've already made plans with my friends. I'm not going to cancel on them or anything. So, if you, have another option, for another day, just hit me up and we'll talk about it. You don't make the suggestion right then and there either. Like, oh, but I'm free on Saturday though. No, you don't say that. You let him take the lead on that. He's supposed to be the one coming up with the plan for the date. He's the one calling, asking you out. So you let him go consult his calendar and figure out another day, and then he'll call you back. Number 10, she is too focused on past relationships. Yes. Whew. You should be focused on the one that's in the here now, not the past. It's never a good idea to ask your partner about their past relationships, especially if you only started dating recently. Dwelling on the past and asking constant questions about his exes is one of the signs of a desperate woman. Not just desperate, like stupid, insecure. 2, to sit up there and want to be comparing yourself to some woman that, is in the past. And guys will do, some of them will flaunt it because they try to make you feel desperate and insecure, because they makes them feel more secure. So they'll start hitting you up with, well, my ex did this and my ex had that, or I prefer this other kind of body style like my ex had. Then get your happy ass on over there to where your ex is then. Don't tell me, get your feet moving in that direction, because we're done here, sir. See, don't ever talk to me like that. Don't ever compare me to your mama, your ex, your sister, nobody. Okay, I'm me, and you're going to talk to me like I'm unique and special. Even if I'm only unique and special in my mind, you better reflect that fantasy. As you start telling me about anything, compare me in a negative way to anybody, even a positive way. I don't want to be compared to other women, period. If you got a compliment, just compliment, but don't base it on putting someone else down, and don't make a compliment to them to put me down. Don't do that. Either one of those, it's going to be all end badly for you. He says a needy woman will ask about his past relationships And she might even talk badly about his exes, which is a huge red flag. She can't talk about exes if you don't open your big mouth and tell her. So, I mean, men who talk about their exes are little bitches anyway. What did you tell your new woman about your ex for? Stupid. Close your damn mouth and be like a strong silent type. You don't go run around telling other women about your ex. That's stupid. Ain't that just some little bitch shit? I would be disgusted if a man started whining to me about his ex like that. I'd be like, oh my God, I cannot with you. This shit here is over before it even starts. I don't want to hear about some other woman. I don't want to hear it. And even if a man, if you with a woman and she's stupid enough to ask you about your exes, your dumb ass is stupid enough to tell her. That's two idiots sitting together. You supposed to shut that shit down. And she asks you about your exes, say, well, that's, she's like a non-factor. I mean, let's talk about us. Let's talk about me and you. Let's talk about what we gonna do together. What kind of magic we gonna make happen? Let's talk about that. That's where your mind should be focused, honey. Focus on the here and now. What we gonna do? Don't be worried about them bitches because they not here. They wasn't good enough. That's why they gone. Okay, that's all you need to hear. That's all you need to know. And if she still keeps asking, well, then you're gonna have to have a decision to make. Is she mature enough for you to be in a relationship with? I don't care about nothing about his past. I don't care. I don't care what changes she put you through. I don't care if she cheated on you, lied to you, beat your children. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about nothing about your past like that. I mean, except like, was you in prison? And why? I mean, I might want to know that. How you manage money, but that's about you. That's not about some other woman. You know what I mean? So I want to know stuff like that. I just don't care about, who was there before me and how many it was. And I don't care about any of that stuff. I will never ask a man about his exes ever. To me, it's just like, ugh. And then when they start volunteering, a game is afoot. They either playing the pity card or they playing the competition card to see if you're stupid enough to bite. Right? Because you're gonna be, yeah, because I'm better than her because da, da, da. He got your nose open and he can manipulate and control you like a marionette. Or he's playing the pity card because he's trying to make you, feel sorry for him because that, for most women that opens up their homes, their wallets and their legs, their credit cards, all kind of stuff. If you feel like you can quote help him because he's down and out and you're gonna swoop in like your name is Nurse Ratchet or something and try to help a man. I done told y'all you don't help men. If you stuck to my rules, you would be fine. But y'all just be veering off and going left. That's how you get in all these troubles. And then his final one is she blames herself all the time. Oh my God, yes. Them bras would be apologizing every 15 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I was wrong. I'm never wrong. You know why? Because everything that I do, even if it's fucked up and it hurts somebody, I did it on purpose and I'm woman enough to admit it. If I want to hurt you, I'm going to hurt you and I'm not going to care about how you feel about it. I'm just going to be glad that you're hurt. And that's just, I think if more people are honest like that, it's like, well, yeah, I said that fucked up shit to you on purpose. I treated you that way because I wanted to, because I wanted to see you cry. I wanted to see your feelings get hurt. If people were really honest with themselves, that's how, that's what the language, but instead they try to cover it up and do what my grandma used to say, throw a rock and hide your hand. They act like, oh, I didn't mean it that way and this and that, blah, 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 knowing full well they did. So, yeah. Yeah, the pity card is a dangerous one for women who are soft-hearted. That's a dangerous, dangerous card because it gets y'all every time. You start feeling sorry for you, think about how you can help him, what you could do, and how you could help protect him or fix his problem for him and all this kind of stuff. They start whining about their problems. I lose interest. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's on Netflix. Because, that drama is probably going to be better than this tale that you're spinning right now. At least it's in color. Your shit is raggedy. How long have we been here? We have to be here till 7 o'clock. I'm going to die. My stomach is growling. I have an orange for a snack. Ooh, I have some wine too, but I better not drink it yet. I better wait until we at least 2 hours in, because otherwise I might be. You think I'm bad now, I'll be buzzed and I'll really be cutting up. All right, let's get back to these letters. Where did I leave off? Okay. Question number 6. Female 22 to 27. We have 26 questions tonight. I think the next couple of weeks, we probably need 30. She's 22 or 27, and she says the summary of the issue is my boyfriend says that he's relieved when we have a ready-made meal instead of me cooking. Oh, God, dude is a savage. My boyfriend and I sometimes cook from scratch, and sometimes we have a ready meal for the oven, such as a fish pie. Oh, she must be from the UK. That don't even sound good. I'm sorry. I've always really liked cooking. If we cook anything from scratch, it's normally me who cooks. And we normally eat a bit later, closer to 8 or than 7 because of the prep time. I like making things like curries and pasta bakes, and I experiment with new things. You know, you be killing them. The other day, my boyfriend said he feels relieved when we have a ready meal because we eat earlier and there's no clanking around of pans and extra washing up. Though we have a big dishwasher that does most of this. Am I wrong to feel really annoyed he said this and to feel like I just don't want to cook for him anymore? I feel like it's not ready before 7:30, then he's annoyed it's late and would prefer a ready meal. Well, I mean, why would you be annoyed if the man comes home from work and he's hungry? You make it, say he just say he comes home at 6, you making him wait 2 hours to eat? Do you at least give him a snack? You don't have snacky things there in the house for him to grab to hold him over so he doesn't get what they call it, hangry? Yeah, I mean, she just doing the absolute most. It's like, girl, okay, you see this is the problem. How could you solve this problem without getting mad, throwing a fit like you did on this paper? You could use a crock pot so that you put the food in there in the morning, you set the thing for 8 hours, and when y'all come in the door, the shit's ready, right? You could do soup, stews, I roasted a chicken in my crock pot one time and it came out really good. I followed this, they had these like you roll balled up um balls of foil and then you put it in there and so it lifts it up from the bottom and then you put the seasonings and stuff in there and it cooks, it like steams into the chicken and it got nice and brown and looked good. It was tasty. Okay, I would have never I found that on YouTube somewhere or something, so I tried it. And and I don't understand what kind of curry that's gonna take you 3 hours to make. I made some Jamaican chicken curry last night. It took no more than an hour. And most of that time is, the cooking time. The simmering time to make sure that the chicken is done. Then you put the potatoes and shit in there. Cook it another, I don't know, 15 minutes. So I cooked the chicken for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Then I added the vegetables and let it cook until, something like an hour and 5 minutes. This shit was ready. And while that was cooking, I was cooked the rice. Why does it take you? Don't you have a food processor? Maybe you should invest in one. There's no reason why you can't get dinner on the table in an hour. So that everybody's still eating at 7:00 because if you're not eating till 8, that means you need till 9 or 10:00 to digest it. Then you're trying to go to sleep so you can go to work the next day. Some people get indigestion. They don't sleep well with their stomachs real full like that. So there's a lot going on here. You haven't really talked to him about why he prefers that to eat at earlier time. You just want to get in your feelings about it. But I can totally understand where he's coming from. I'll be wearing my crock pot out. Or if you can't do that, then get you an Instant Pot. You put stuff in there and you can air fry in there. You can pressure cook in there. You can do everything. So anything that you want to cook on this planet, even beans, can be done in 40 minutes. So there's no reason for you to be acting stupid like this. Just get you the necessary kitchen gear so that you can put the dinner on the table at a reasonable time. It'll be better for both of you and better for your digestion. This just doesn't even make any sense with all this technology available. Fish pie. Well, I don't want to eat fish in a pie. I'm sorry. Just the thought of that is just really not working for me. It reminds me of that girl who wrote in a couple of months ago and she was mad because her boyfriend didn't want to eat her sushi bake. Remember that? I had to go online to see what that looked like because it just sounded nasty. And she was mad that he didn't want to eat her sushi bake. And I'm thinking, I don't want to eat that shit either. That don't even sound right. And I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to food. I'll try everything pretty much if it looks right. But if it's got certain kinds of textures, slimy going on, and I look at it, it's got too much going on and I can't identify the ingredients, then I don't mess with it. That's why I don't eat like goulash and stuff like that. I'm looking at stuff. I need to know what's in here. And if you got stuff that's hidden and it's masked and it's a mystery, I'm not eating your food. I don't care what you say. That's I that's just me. I've been like that. And then at least I'm not like I was when I was a little kid. Man, my food, I would have a cow if my food touched the other food on the plate. I mean, I would flip out and I don't even know why, but it was just this thing I had, when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And so I would just go crazy. It was just like what my daddy did was solve the problem by going to an army surplus store, and they had those tin plates like they use in the army used to, and they had like the sections. Now they have that kind of stuff, and it's cute and it's plastic and it's got little deck cartoons and stuff on it because it's a whole bunch of kids like that. But at the time, I guess nobody in my family was like that except for me. So my daddy got these old, these army plates. And I had my army plate at my grandmother's house, each one of my auntie's house, and I had a couple at our house. And that's how I eat. So they put my food in the little slots, and my food never touched anymore, and I would eat it happy and be happy as a clam. And I got over it when I got about 8 years old, but up until then, I'm telling you, you can't make my food touch. I can't have my food touching. That just didn't work for me. I want a space on the plate. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. That was weird. Let me see what Honey. We're gonna put Honey's comment on there too. I don't like them cooking. It takes a long time to prep and make entrees and sides. Girl, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you need an Instant Pot, though. They didn't have those years ago. Now they do. You had to have a separate thing. You had to have a separate air fryer, separate pressure cooker, a separate crock pot, separate. Everything had to be separate. But now it's in one thing. So I gave away all my other stuff, and I just had to have the Instant Pot now. And it's just amazing. It's totally changed my life. So I decided I want some red beans and rice at 5 o'clock. Well, guess what? At 6:30, 6 o'clock, I'm eating it. That's how fast it does. It pressure cooks the beans and the stuff and the sausage and everything just right in there. Because you can turn it to where it sautés and it browns the sausage. Then you throw everything in there and cover it up and put it on the pressure cooker thing, and it cooks some beans, and it's just wonderful. You didn't like your yams to touch. Yeah, it used to drive me crazy. And then people have put stuff and they have the gravy running all into your other stuff. I don't want gravy in my broccoli and stuff like that. I just would have a fit. I'm still like that a little bit today. But let's move on here. Enough of my reminiscing. Let's talk about question number 7. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. Some of the issue, my boyfriend makes hurtful comments about not liking certain aspects of my appearance, and I'm looking for some validation. Please help me. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. We are both in our early 20s. The love has been intense, and in a way, I think we are soulmates. We understand each other and try hard to, but I have doubted things many times over the years. Some things to note: he is on the autism spectrum and has OCD. Okay. Sometimes I don't know if he truly loves me, but the image of me, he doesn't like my blonde eyelashes or my freckles. He has told me this, and yet you stayed with him? I would tell him, I don't like your OCD or your autism either. But so you don't let a man just talk about that and you don't stab him back. I suffered with severe acne and he found me less attractive. I never have no makeup on unless it's night or morning because he says I still look pretty without makeup, but that I look my best with it. Lately, I haven't been wanting to have nook, and I think that deep down, this is the reason. Before, I have thought of excuses to leave, and I didn't understand why I had these desires as I love him so dearly, and I know he does me, but I don't know if this attraction thing is normal or not. I know there are times where you aren't always attracted to your partner, so I'm confused. Oh, God, you wrote a damn book. Oh, okay. He has said to me that sometimes he wonders if he can find better. Wow. He said that to you? And these thoughts cause him anxiety because he loves me. He knows the likelihood of finding someone that he is compatible with is so low. Are y'all hearing this? He has compulsions of checking as if he finds other girls attractive. If I don't wear makeup, he asks if I'm going to put it on. He has said many things which are so very hurtful that I don't think he realizes. I look at others and wish I could not wear makeup and still feel beautiful in the eyes of my partner. He says I look nice, but that doesn't really make me feel good. I don't want people to hear this and think that he is a horrible person because he's not. He comes to things I want him to, despite being uncomfortable. It makes him autism related struggles because he knows it's important to me. He can be loving and kind and understanding, except in these moments where he hurts me so deeply. I've almost broken up with him because of it, but we came to a mutual understanding that attraction fluctuates and that is it isn't that he finds me unattractive, but prefers when I look a certain way to others. Please give me some advice. I know he struggles and he doesn't mean what he says, but I don't know what to do. My heart is hurting. Well, I'm going to say this. I know you're trying to make excuses that he's, on the spectrum and that's why he's saying these things to you, but that's bullshit. What this relationship is that you have is verbally and emotionally abusive. Okay, there's a lot of ways for people to abuse you. They don't have to put their hands on you. They don't have to take your money. That's financial abuse and physical abuse. But emotional abuse is when they pound you with things that hurt you over and over and over. He's fully aware of the fact that it hurts you. It's not an accident. And he continues to do it anyway. That's where it flips over from, just being stupid to abusive because he's doing it over and over and over again. Okay, so understand what kind of relationship you're in. Why you would refer to him as your soulmate is beyond my comprehension. I don't understand how someone who talks to you like that and treats you that way could be a soulmate. Your idea of a soulmate and mine are very, very, very different. This is a cloud I would have dipped out on long ago. Like I said, an hour or so ago on this long ass show that we're going to have today, I don't do comparisons to other women. You're not going to compare me to nobody. Nobody in the magazine, nobody on TV. Neither your mother, your sister, your exes, nobody. No other woman are you going to open your mouth to compare me to in any way, shape, or form, whether it's positive or negative. I don't want you putting other women down to try to make me feel like I'm better than them. And I don't want you saying some raggedy shit to me to try to make me feel bad compared to other and compare myself to other women. Either one of those is going to get you the boot, like promptly. So, young lady, you have a decision to make. How bad do you want to feel and for how long? Because you sticking with this guy he's not going to change. This is who he is. You have to accept that this is who he is and he's a fool. Okay. This is unfortunate. Sounds like, there's some good parts, but that's the thing about relationships. They're never all anything. They're never all bad and they're never all good. There's always something. There's always something. But what you want is for the good to far outweigh the bad. But you can't have a man be in a relationship with a man who intentionally tries to hurt you every time you turn around and make you feel small and bad about yourself. That's not going to work long term. It's not going to work. So you have a lot of thinking to do. I can't really tell you what to do, but I'm telling you, for me, I would have deuced out on this shit a long time ago. It's like, oh, well, you think you're not attracted, then fuck you. You need a man who's attracted to you no matter what. Even if you got a cold and your nose is red and snotty, he still thinks you're adorable. You're pregnant and miserable, he still thinks you're adorable. You sick, he still thinks you're cute and look at my baby. That's what you want in your man. You don't want somebody where you have to jump through hoops wearing makeup and all this kind of stuff because that's going to make him feel good. Tell him to fuck up, put the makeup on his own self. I can't stand dudes like this. But I would have had to hurt his feelings. But that's just me. So you think about this though. I really want you to get away from him before he completely destroys your self-esteem and your confidence. And then you'll be in therapy for years and years trying to get over it. You can save yourself. You need to do that. And then recognize this kind of behavior for what it is. This is verbal and emotional abuse. Okay. Let's move on to question number 7. Oh no, this is question number 8. That was number 6. Oh no, what happened here? The numbers are out of order. Oh shit. Candace. Okay, so this says 7 again, but it's actually 9. Oh my God. Okay. Never mind. Question number 8. This is a young man in the 26 to 34 age group. Summer of issue. Is it weird that my girlfriend wants me to send her weekly photos of my poop? Oh, help me, Lord. So this is the situation. My girlfriend of 1 year is 22 and I am 26. She has subtly told me that she has always been fascinated by poo. She says that our poo reflects our gut health. For context, she's a health nut. I was shocked and I didn't believe her when she told me this. So she showed me her album of on her phone of her own dumps. Oh my God. There were literally hundreds of photos taken back as early as 2020. Now she wants me to send photos over text of my poops at least twice a week so she can analyze them. She says she finds it interesting. Oh shit. Oh shit. What a pun. Um, I love her so much, and the past year has been amazing, and she has never done anything like this before. I'm not sure what to do. Would it be weird if I started regularly sending her photos of my shits? I'm truly baffled. I would tell you what, if you do that, you stupid. First of all, you don't know what she's doing with these pictures, and you don't know, you don't want it to, no. Anyway, the answer to that question, you just tell her, no, that's not going to happen. And then you need to figure out what you're going to do with your shitty focused girlfriend. Because I would be deuced. Who does? I mean, I could see if she was like a medical student or something, and she was a what they call a naturopath, because they do focus on that, because a lot of times people have, they have parasites, they have, different things going on, and so they analyze it, but they're not. You don't have to do it every week. I mean, you just do it one time, and they figure out what's going on with you. Oh, Tracy, it's been crazy since it started. In the 20 teens is when I started doing this on YouTube. Before that, I did it on the website, but I got tired of that. It was too much work editing and putting it up all the time. This is much easier. Yeah, she could be selling you right, because a lot of people are into that kind of stuff. They have that on those popcorn sites of people taking dumps and smeared dump leavings and stuff. And I'm like, man, there's some people that are so super fucked up in this world. I don't even know what to say. But I'm telling you one thing, sir, don't do this. Remember, once you send a picture and it's, from your phone, then it's going to be identified with you forever. That's not something that you're going to have floating around in the internet or on anybody's telephone either. That's great that she's going to show you pictures of her dumps. I mean, I don't think I would have looked, but, do you? And then, but I think I would have been so disgusted I would have had to hang up and just block her and not even say goodbye. Oh, wait a minute. I have to put this on. Oh, okay. We don't call this March Madness for nothing. Woo! For those of you who bounced through here, we're doing this special programming this month every Saturday from starting today. So it's 4 in a row. In celebration March Madness. See my basketball in the little graphic there. In March Madness, we call it March Love Madness, though. So we're talking about relationships and self-esteem and boundaries and dating and all kinds of stuff for 4 hours each Saturday through the end of the month. So feel free to go onto the YouTube and set your reminders so that you get, you don't miss one of these crazy broadcasts. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless, and I always have something to say, but this time I just really don't have nothing to say. I just have nothing to say. I just want to just lay on the floor and just roll around and laugh my ass off. That's what I want to do. You poor thing. He says, I'm truly baffled. Well, that makes two of us. Okay, so now this is supposed to be question number 9. Hold on and let me see what numbers she put on these things. Yep. Hold on, I'm checking. This one looks like super, super long. Or else. Okay, no, it's not. There's another. Okay, so we had 2 question number 8s and 2 question number 7s. That's so it's way more than 26. It's probably 27, 28 questions today. All right, so second number 7, male 22 to 27, summary of issue. My girlfriend doesn't think I make enough money. I'm 24 and I'm currently earning a salary of 130K. That's a great salary. What are you talking about? My girlfriend of nearly 3 years is 27 and often compares me to her friends, coworkers, my friends, and anyone she knows who earns more than I do. She constantly tells me that she thinks I'm underpaid. She's extremely driven by money, whereas I am not. She's 27 and most of her friends are a year or two older than her. Those friends have partners who are older than even than they are. So a few of them make a decent amount more than I do. And I'm reminded her of this every so often, and I'm tired of hearing it. For comparison, my girlfriend got a raise and is making around 115K now. Also, for more info, I was making 70K when we started dating, but I've gotten 60K extra over 3 years, but it's still not enough. I'm not bragging here, but I flat out know that I'm making good money for someone my age, but it hasn't ever been about money to me. As a teen, I was very depressed and insecure. And when I finished high school, I vowed to turn my life around and make happiness my number one priority. And that's what I did. And that's how it's remained. The problem is what happiness isn't her top priority is money. She just wants to be rich. And personally, I don't care enough about that to sacrifice my happiness. Her boss is 15 years older than her and makes about 400K and flies business class everywhere. And when my girlfriend found out about this, she said her number one goal is to fly business class everywhere. Sure, business class is nice, but I'm just not aligned with what she wants in life. And at 3 years into this relationship, I don't know what to do about it. You dip out. That's what you do. I say about 75% of the time together, we're happy, usually when we're not talking about things related to money. She's constantly pressuring me to leave my job while I love my current job and have continuously gotten new opportunities internally and really don't want to leave. She makes me feel inadequate when I know that I'm doing really well for my age, and it just sucks. As a person who wants to prioritize my happiness, my current job and pay should be a reason for me to be happy, and it usually is until she makes me feel unhappy about it. I guess I'm struggling to work out what to do. I feel like I can't take this for much longer, but honestly, I'm afraid of breaking up. How should I handle a situation where my partner values money more than I do to the point that it makes me unhappy, but I'm happy with many other aspects of the relationship? Dude, your values are at odds. The very core of who you are as a person, it doesn't matter all the hobbies and interests and travels and giggles and stuff you like to do together. I mean, that's friend shit. You can get a friend to do those kind of things with you. You're talking about aligning yourself and possibly marrying a woman whose very core value system is at the complete opposite end of the spectrum from you. How happy could you be in a relationship with a woman like this long term? You're going to be miserable. You're miserable now, and you're just looking at more years of misery the longer you stay with her. Get out, drop her, and find you somebody who's focused on happiness and joy and things like that, like you are, and you'll double your happiness and probably double your salary too, because you'll be in a much better frame of mind. You never be with somebody who tries to make you feel inadequate, like you're undeserving and not good enough. That is the core issue here. So you dump this broad and tell her it's been magic. 3 years was good. You only 24 years old. You don't need to worry about not finding you another girlfriend. You'll find plenty. Find you somebody closer to your age. She's 3 years older than you. I don't think that's a good idea at 24. Find you somebody your age and then, be with them. There will be no shortage of young ladies that are college educated and successful that would be happy to go out with you. Okay. So don't be thinking that she's the only chick out there. Man, I know he needs to just dump her like yesterday. Okay, second question number 8. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. Summary of issue. Should I try to have him back in my life or not? No. Without even reading it, no. What did we talk about earlier? The sign of a desperate woman is women who keep going back to the ex that they know wasn't good enough. But they decide to sacrifice because they lonely or something. Desperate. So let's see what mess she got herself into. I'm 33. I met this guy. He's 33 as well. A year ago, via a swipey thing, I shall remain nameless. He was a tourist in my city for a week. We spent a wonderful week together. He shared a lot with me and opened up as much as I did and told me that he'd never been that open with anyone. Of course, he told you that. And probably now I know him better than his friends and family. He's good. Anyway, he left to his country, which is far away from where I live, and I thought that this was it and it was ready for it. But he kept texting me every day saying that he never felt that happy and I'm the best thing that ever happened to his life. And we became really close to sharing everything with each other every day, texting around 7 hours per day. Yeah, back then I did not have a job, so lots of free time. All of it turned around 5 months, and then I started wondering where it was going because I kept giving him all my time and energy. Well, you was dumb. Once we discussed it, he said he was always in a relationship, one that lasted 6 years, another 5. And now it's the first time he's not in a committed relationship. And he wanted to be like this. But our communication clearly was not, quote, friends one. Anyways, at some point I got sick of it because I felt anxious and insecure about what's going on. I physically started to feel bad and told him not to contact me anymore if he's not planning to move to my city, which now I realize probably was a bit too much to ask from a guy I saw for 5 days. Anyways, I really miss talking to him, but at the same time, I don't want to find myself at the same place where I was, all anxious about what's going on. He did not reach out to me for 3 months, but also told me that he would keep texting me all the depressing messages about him missing me and not doing a thing to actually see me. I will block him, also probably a bit too much, but back then I was really angry. Once in the morning, a couple of months ago, I saw a missed call from him during the night. But when I asked if he called, he was like, "Oh, sorry. I don't know how that happened." And since then, I have not heard from him. I really miss talking to him. So now I'm doubting, should I try to have him back in my life or is it a bad idea? What would you have him back in your life for? To be a fucking pen pal? That's all that this is. If you just want pen pals, they have websites where people sign up to be pen pals in other countries. You can do that. You don't have to deal with a man who told you he doesn't want a relationship and when you know that's what you want. That's why you went on a damn swipey thing. Right? So what are you doing? What are you thinking about doing? This sounds stupid. Okay? This is just dumb. Yeah, these women get in this fantasy, be texting somebody and thinking that that's a relationship. That ain't shit. Like you said, he hasn't made any moves to try to see you. So that's all that counts. A man who really misses you will go through hell and high water to get to you. Or send you a ticket to come to him, one or the other. He ain't done shit. So what are you talking about? Lock him and go on with your life and find somebody else. Like, my God, what is this? Oh, I don't even know what to say. Question number 9. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. I don't know if I should stay with my 3-month-old relationship girlfriend. Okay, so you've been dating her for 3 months. That's what you mean. I will not have a filter here. I just returned from my girlfriend's birthday gathering with her friends and family, and I couldn't help myself but to think I'm not sure about her, and I think I may break up. We are both 25. I'm a very chill dude, lived a lot of experiences in my life, and now I want a quiet life. I feel like my party and fun years are done, and all I want to do is get in better shape, sleep well, eat well, and be surrounded by my loved ones. Maybe a family and more business would be nice. My girlfriend is 25 and comes from a not so well off family. Her brother's very nice too, but he was a drug addict. Her father's like 20 years older than her mother. You can really see that she doesn't love him anymore, at least not like a partner. They also live with her grandma, who's a sweetheart. My girlfriend is a teacher and loves to party, but she's very academic. I'm more practical and business oriented. Left uni to start a successful business. Has a lot of friends. I'm mostly alone and fine with it. Doesn't have a healthy relationship with money. She doesn't invest or save. When she has savings, it feels like it's like her family's emergency fund. She supports her family economically and has abandonment issues. And there's also been times where she's done some very emotional things without considering the rational outcome. Right now, we're living 3 hours away from each other. We get to see each other every 2 weeks. When I come to visit the city, there's a lot of love between us, like a lot of it. We respect each other. The nook is great. I never feel bored when I'm with her. She's smart, so I'm always learning new things. Her love feels very unconditional, and she's always wants a family. I personally think she'd be an amazing mom. She's getting further studies and has plenty of discipline, which I value. I hadn't felt something like this in a long time. I've just been farting around and have had some not long relationships in the past few years, but I can't help but think the things I dislike are too many to ignore. I understand no one's perfect, and I also have some issues for sure, but I'm scared if I leave and end up realizing what could have been the mom of my kids. Please help me. This confusion is killing me. Should I leave my girlfriend? Absolutely. And you know why? Because you talking about unless y'all move to the other side of the country, you talking about somebody she supports those people. So if you marry her, your money's gonna be supporting those people. Don't you understand what time it is? With her brother being a druggie, you can't trust him around your kid, and you definitely can't trust him in your house because he's gonna be pilfering stuff to sell to get drugs. Okay. The parents who knows what's going on with that and how that's gonna roll out. But I'm not understanding why if the father's, I mean, he might be 20 years older, but so what? Why can't he work? Why is your girlfriend supporting everybody in that household? Grandma should be getting Social Security or something. She should have some kind of income coming in. Why are all these adults in that household and she's the one supporting everybody? You need to look at that and ask her that question. Say, well, I was thinking about, just for instance, example, if we got married, would they be expecting me to start pitching in to support them too? And if you supporting them, then what you gonna be doing about at our house? So all in all, this, I'm not seeing where this is gonna be a good situation for you. You can love all you want to, but you got to use your practical thinking here. This girl and her family is that's no, that's especially that brother. Yeah. I just, it's unfortunate that she's got that situation. But you talking about marriage and children and stuff like that. You at that age, and that's what you're thinking about. That would be a disaster. And the next thing you know, if something happens, they're gonna be all living up at your house, right? So you better think about that. I personally would, I would deuce out. He's a what? What's she say? Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not about that life when people they got one person, everybody's sponging off of that one person, and that's the person that you would be with. Good luck with that. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. If we had a baby, my husband wouldn't want my mom to stay for a week after his paternity leave. I said to my husband that if we were to have a child after his paternity leave is ended and he's back at work, I would like to have my mom to stay for a week to help me. This would probably be around a month or 6 weeks after the birth. I said that I would like this because it would be very hard in the early stage, and I value my mom's practical support. She could do shopping, etc. It would also be nice for my mom to get to know the baby. My mom lives the other side of the UK, so she can't just pop over for an afternoon. We have no other family near us. My husband said he wouldn't want my mom staying and sounded exasperated at the idea. Can I ask, is it common to have a parent stay for a while soon after birth to help out in your situation? Oh, wait, is it at all understandable why my husband would hate the idea of this? Deb, my mom is a helpful person. She is kind to my husband. Well, see, your mistake was telling him. I always tell people you keep your mouth closed. All that had to happen is when his maternity leave was over, your mother would just still be there. And he'd be like, well, when is your mother going home? Oh, next week. Because I need her here. So see, you don't have to tell them everything like you did. You had a big mouth, and so now it's thing. But the thing I find so interesting is you ain't even pregnant, and y'all already arguing about a mythical, magical, ain't even here yet, baby. Please stop this. But just tell him, it's nice that you have an opinion, but guess what? Your opinion don't count for shit. Because it's my body that's gonna be ripped up, and it's my body who's gonna be, trying to recover from having a kid. So my decision about who comes and helps me and makes my life easier so I can recover faster is going to be my decision. So you don't have no say here. It's not like you're gonna be getting no nook anyway. You got to heal up after having a baby. So, it's not just remind him of that. It's not like you're gonna be screwing. So just shut up. She'll be here and then she'll be gone. And then you can just deal with it. These men, I don't know, but just remind him of who's having a baby, who needs to recover, who needs to heal, and whose decision it is. So you was nice to even tell him, which I said, like I said, you shouldn't even have done that. Not his concern. It's not his issue. It don't have nothing to do with him. And absolutely, it's good to have somebody. I stayed at my mother's house. That's what I did. Stayed at my mother's house. Well, we all stayed there, but we stayed there because I didn't fucking know what to do. So we all stayed there for about a week, and then we went home. So that's how that went. Same thing, though. She didn't come to us. We went to her. Question number 11, summary of issue. My partner's popcorn problem. I'm looking for some advice. Here's my backstory. I've been with my partner on and off for the last 3.5 years. Our only issue in our relationship since early on has been his secrecy regarding popcorn use. We broke up down to this, and we have a child and another one on the way. Okay, so you know that you broke up with him because of this, and yet you had another kid with him. What were you thinking? I feel like he's addicted, and obviously this has played a huge role in my mental health, but I do love him, and I really want to make this work. It's not going to. Addiction you can't fight against an addiction. He uses popcorn daily. I've picked up on this. He spends about 30 to 60 minutes in the bathroom on his phone every night and again every morning. Probably more, but this is what I've noticed. I checked his history and his site after site and even chat rooms. He constantly searches other women on social media from our local area. We haven't been together for months, yet he is still a big part of my life, and we see each other co-parenting. I feel like he doesn't respect me at all when it comes to other women, but I want to help him and believe he is a good person deep down. He has also paid OnlyFans, etc. for women's content, and it hurts. He's never told me. I've always found it out, but he says he doesn't have an issue. How can I try and bring this up? And you can tell he's really ashamed, but I want him to get help and realize it's stopping him from building connections. You know what? That's your baby daddy. That ain't your husband. If he wants to fuck up his life, then he has every right to do so. I would not recommend putting any children in his care, in his custody when by himself, because you don't know what kind, especially if you have a daughter, you want to keep your little girl away from his ass because don't sound like he's wrapped too tight. Secondly, you knew that this was his thing. He was addicted to this stuff. And yet you got pregnant again. What did you do that for? So you could escape with just one kid. Now you're going to have two. So he's going to have to be in your life even longer till the youngest one turns 18, the one who's not even been born yet. All in all, I see you making a series of stupid decisions, not at all in the best interest of yourself or your children, to be with a man who is beyond help, unless he decides to help himself. You can't do it. You're talking about you want him to get help and you want to help him. I said, you can't help him. He has to help himself. He's a grown-ass man. He's making the decision to do all of this, and he's going to make the decision to stop when he's ready, and it doesn't sound like he's ready yet. So the one who needs to accept this reality and start planning her life as a single mom is you. Okay? Leave him out of it. He don't have nothing to do with this. Not anymore. I don't understand the decision-making process here. Let's move on to question number 12, and then I'm going to read another article. Female 28 to 34, some of the issue. Misremembering things is causing hurt in my relationship. My boyfriend is 33 and keeps asking me questions about my past intimate experiences. So do you answer? In his defense, I brought this up when we first met in 2020. I definitely overshared. There was a time in my past, too, where the choices I made, nook-wise, are regretful and traumatic for me. I recognize that I constantly made these choices, basically cam girl stuff, but I had to go through years of therapy to cope with the guilt and shame of it. I told my boyfriend about a lot of my past, including the cam girl stuff. He's asked me specific questions about it and about the men and about what body parts I revealed, etc. Unfortunately, I keep forgetting details and remembering later. Most times I've corrected myself later because I misremembered at the time, but then I thought about it days later and have remembered, and or he will ask me again to make sure the details line up. And usually by then I'll remember. And sometimes the detail is different if he remembers it differently. But my boyfriend doesn't believe that I could just forget or omit that info accidentally. So now I'm struggling with giving an answer, but then remembering later that it was actually answer T. So she said answer H, but then remembered it was actually answer T. I feel guilty about this because I'm worried that if I don't revisit it to correct my answer and it gets found out later somehow that he didn't have the updated info, then he sees me as even more untrustworthy. But if I'm willing to correct myself once, I remember, then he also finds it suspicious that somehow I'll remember the detail later, which also seems untrustworthy to him. Do you think anyone in the squad has dealt with remembering details of a traumatic thing later? And what have you done once you realized it? I want to hear everyone's thoughts. So that she's asking y'all. So basically, the question is, do you remember every detail about a traumatic thing or something that's humiliating, embarrassing, something that you're ashamed of, and makes you feel guilty? So when you talk about it, then you might remember more details later. Is that something that you think is normal? I personally think that, I would, when he asked me questions, I would tell him I don't want to talk about it. We already talked about this. I'm not talking about this anymore. I'm not talking about this again. As just shut it down. Why do you have to keep answering him? Of course you're going to remember stuff later. That's what it is. Even if you talk about something as simple as a dream that you had last night, you're going to remember details and little bits and pieces, a movie that you saw, anything. You're going to remember bits and pieces and not everything, not all at once, just like reciting a story. If somebody can do all that, most likely it's something that they memorize. It's not real anyway. I don't be trying to remember nothing. First of all, it's like I said, if I did it because I wanted to. And if it's something that I chose to do, then I don't need you I don't need you to talk about it. I don't need to talk about it. We don't need that. We don't need it. So what's the point? Let me scroll down so I can keep up with what's happening here. Okay. Let's see what Sliver had to say. Yeah, exactly. That's how I think about it too. None of his damn business. Too bad she didn't, she answered him though, she opened the door for all this drama that she's experiencing now. It's very unfortunate. Okay, it's time to have a swig. Okay, first of all, y'all, with all my various sicknesses over the months, back-to-back stuff going on, I had not been to the gym since December, maybe early January. I can't remember. Anyway, it's been a long time. So we went to the gym. Me and my friend went to the gym this morning. I'm about to die. You just don't even know how sore I am. I tried to reach over there and get the wine. My shoulder's so sore and my chest muscles are so tight. Oh, I need a massage. But yes, I have to get back into it. I was doing my kettlebells and all that stuff. Should I just use the machines today? I'm like, I'm not trying to kill myself because I know if I pick up a kettlebell, I'll be doing too much. Then I'll be in traction the rest of the week. One of these days, I'm going to stop trying and stop experimenting and just go with what I like. I like Kendall Jackson Vintner's Reserve Chardonnay. I think it's my favorite. Yes. I have to get back to it because summer's coming up. And I have to be able to fit my hoochie gear. That old hoochie that everybody be like, oh, she is so old. Why is she wearing all that? That's all right. Like, as long as I can fit it and it look good, I'm going to wear it. There you go. Let's move on to question number 13. Female, 28 to 34. She says, summary of issue. The first time we slept together, he gave me 2 STDs. Nasty ass fucker. Oh my God. That's right, Shay. Period. Yeah, DP, we all need to be up in the gym. Oh, it's hard, you take a break and then you go back and then you be sitting there thinking, you're on the machines. I was doing the chest fly machine, And I'm sitting there because I had to drop my weight down almost to half of what it used to be. And I'm like, wow, why did I stop? Because I was sick. That's why I kept getting sick. So I didn't go back in there until I, try to get well and go back. And I got sick again. So yeah, it was a rough winter for me. That's why I haven't been. 2, yes, she said 2. Okay, you notice I had to let that marinate a little bit. That's why I put the letter down because I had to think about that for a second. I'm a single mom to my 4-year-old son. I've been single and celibate since my son's father, so no nook contact at all. But I finally am getting back on track with life and managed to get myself a job. At work one day, this guy comes in to pick up an order for someone, and he ended up asking me out. What, a DoorDash driver kind of thing? This is the first time I've let my guard down for anyone in 5 years. He was so charming, we became inseparable. He picks me up every day, drops me to work. He's there for all my wants and needs. I've never had this before. It's like a dream come true. He told me he loved me the first night we slept together, and it solidified everything between us. Bear in mind that we've only been dating for 5 months, and this is the first and only time we had nook. Now let's get to today. He called me and told me he has 2 STDs. He knows it's from his last partner, but my thing is, asked him if he's clean, and when he tested last, he said he was clean. I know it's not me, as he got tested the week before we had nook, but my problem is that he got tested on Monday and we had nook on Friday before he got his results back. What do you mean? Well, okay, you in the UK, by the way, you talking about mum. So I don't know how they do things there. Here you can get them in like 24 hours at the most. My question is, why the heck would you sleep with someone before you got your results back? He could have waited a few more days and got it sorted out and then told me. I feel so violated. I've not given anyone my body in 5 blinking years. And the first and only time I have nook with him, he gives me 2 diseases. And what makes me more angry is that this could have been prevented if he just waited a week for his results. I've literally fallen for this guy. We're both on the same path in life. I've never been happier. But this has set me all the way back, she says. I told him that I can't talk to him right now and I need to process everything. I just feel disgusted. I've had 4 showers as it's the weekend and I have to wait until Monday for an appointment for treatment. What do I do, Deb? My heart tells me to stay, but my gut is telling me to leave. I can't answer that one. I can't, because I tell you, there's something, what is it? Is it BV or something like that? That, women can you just get it. Like, it just happens. Well, I didn't know that. I remember I was young and I did the wild thing with this dude. And then, I noticed this stuff was happening. So I tell my best friend to come, go to the clinic with me. So we go and she was like, yeah, I could have gotten it from him, but then I could have just got it because it's something that happens sometimes with the chemistry of women's body changes. So, but it didn't matter to me. It didn't matter if he could have, would have, should have, maybe, whatever. I said it was him, and God damn it, it was him. And I ain't talked to that fool since. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just assumed he was lying. And I didn't want nothing, no parts of him. I didn't want nothing to do with him. Don't you call me. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear from you. I just want you to forget that you know me. That's how I am. So see with you, and you don't, he admitted that he gave it to you. I'm trying to figure out what kind of man goes around sleeping bare with people and spreading diseases like that. See, what did you consider when you, as a mother, were planning to do that to them? Why did you not have him strap up? So you would have protected yourself from getting that, right? Would you not have done that? But you didn't. So I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, there goes Shay's famous exes when she was Lady Boss and she put up all them exes. It was funny as hell. I don't know what to tell you, girlfriend. He wouldn't be able to do nothing with me because I don't know. I just would never trust him again. That's like a major violation. Major violation. Yeah. Yeah, BV, that's what it was. But she said, you could just get it. Just shows up and women with no partners or anything. I'm like, I doubt that, but I don't care. I did. Well, yeah, in my mind, he gave it to me, and in my mind, I'm done with his ass, and I don't care about anything else. And so that was the end of that. So now let's talk about this. Let us talk about uh what is this? Hold on, I printed out so much stuff because I want to make sure I had enough stuff to talk about this time. Oh, this is an article, some information I got from somewhere. I don't know where now. 17 reasons why people are mean to you. Why are people mean to you? Well, they feel like people are suddenly mean to you. I'm like, they probably already showed signs of it anyway. It shouldn't be a surprise. So here's the 17 reasons. Oh, I didn't even number them. They perceive you as an easy target. Okay. They have those who they feel a target who appear weak and vulnerable. Yep. So those of you who are insecure, low self-esteem, no confidence, you're likely to be targeted because people just have a natural tendency to bully people that they perceive to be weaker than them, or they don't have a spine, don't have boundaries, all that kind of stuff. They're going to take advantage of you because that's just human nature. It's like the survival of the fittest. And if you don't stand up to other people, tell them no and set boundaries and stuff, then you're viewed as weak and vulnerable and prey. Okay. Jealousy or envy. This is reason number 2. I should number these so I can keep up. No, forget it. Jealousy or envy. Those of you who feel threatened by they're threatened by your success or ambition may lash out, expressing their insecurities through mean behavior. We see that a lot in these situations where the girls are really like movers and shakers and their boyfriends not so much. And so the boys, they're jealous of the girls and try to put them down and stuff. It's terrible. No, number 3, you intentionally make them feel bad, unintentionally rather. Do your words or actions unknowingly hurt the person who is now being mean to you? It's important to be mindful of how you affect others with your actions or words. Well, I can't deal with no special ass snowflakes. Oh, let me tell y'all the story. Okay. So there's a situation where I was put in charge of this distribution of electronic devices to old people that don't have any, they don't have like a computer, they don't have a phone or anything like that. So, find these people and then line them up to get one of these donated tablets. Think Apple. I think they were all refurbished. Is that the word? Or something like that. Some of them might be new. I don't really know. There's hundreds of them. So this guy comes in. Oh, what is this? Oh, a little light. This is cute. This guy comes in and he picks one up. And then he comes back and he's like, oh, this isn't the latest model. This is only a 64 megabytes. I want 128 at least. You got a $500 iPad in a, what you call it? OtterBox. Those cases are expensive. OtterBox case. So there's $500 worth of shit. You got at least $500 worth of shit, and you got it for free, and you're complaining because it's not the latest. And then he had taken the inventory tags and stuff off before he brought. I told him just bring it back then, and he couldn't get shit else. So he brings all the stuff, and then he turns it in to this guy. I wasn't there that day. And so then he's like, so the kid tells me, well, he turned it in, but he had taken all the inventory tags off. I'm like, what? Who does that? So I wrote him back and I said, to the guy, I wrote him back. I said, well, that's rather bizarre behavior since, that it's not your property. It's on loan to you. You shouldn't be taking anything off of it. And, I said it was bizarre behavior. Sign my name. So then he writes back this wall telling me how, that was unprofessional and this and that. And, that people are supposed to be serving him. And I mean, just all that's kind of bullshit. I lost my mind. It was everything I could do to keep from cussing him out. It was a strain. It was a stressful moment for me. I had to call upon the Lord. And I don't do that. I'm not into religious, but I needed some help because I was about to go smooth the fuck off. So I politely said, I hit that reply button and I said, first of all, you are confused. I am not in any way, shape, or form here to serve you to do anything. I'm here to run this program. That's what I was hired to do. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it very well. Secondly, so for someone who's gotten $500 worth of products for free, you have a lot of nerve being ungrateful and criticizing and complaining. Like I said, if what we have is not good enough for you, bring it back. And then this is done. We're done here. And I said, thirdly, I'm done with this conversation. This conversation ends here. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. This is over. Okay. You brought the stuff back. We're done with you. Don't you ever contact me again. And I sign my name. And so the guy who, that I'm working with, he's like, wow, that, you just really lit him up. I said, that was polite. You don't even know what every kind of motherfucker I wanted to call his ass. But I was, I need this little money. So I was trying to be calm. But yeah, sometimes people just take you there. But I guess he thought, I don't know, he seemed like that kind that's used to, I know he's like some kind of like Arabic person. And I think, they don't really, as a culture, put too much stock in women. They feel like the men are superior kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, that might be where you from, home skilly, but this is Oakland. And over here, I run shit, not you. And so that was, he got lit up real quick. And so that was my fun of last week. I got to act a fool. I got to act a fool. I just be looking for a reason. So let's move on and let's talk about these more reasons why people are mean to you. They might be in physical pain because pain can make people irritable and short-tempered, they say. And in most instances, pain-induced unkindness is often unintentional. Yeah, but that's still no excuse. They are dealing with depression. Depression can lead to irritability and meanness. According to the National Institutes of Health, it can also cause increased anger, feeling on edge and becoming negative. Once more, this often reflects their internal feelings rather than their feelings toward others like you. Recognizing the link between mental health and behavior can explain why someone might be acting mean. Or the next one, you're triggering unpleasant memories or feelings. Again, a personal problem, that's me speaking. You may not know it, but your presence or actions may inadvertently trigger the person who is being mean to you. They may have unconscious associations with you from past negative experiences, personal problem. They don't take that shit out on me. Next one, it is a learned behavior. Certain people adopt mean behaviors from their family or social environments. It's often learned by observing others acting mean and the interactions they have with other people. Inebriation or substance abuse. Yeah. Alcohol encourages people to engage in behaviors they would typically suppress, like aggression. Exactly. But it's already there. The alcohol just lets it be free. Alcohol doesn't make you turn into anything. It just lets your defenses down so that you be who you really want to be in the first place. That's what alcohol does. So if someone is being mean to you and they're alcoholic or high, that's what they really wanted to do anyway. But now that their conscious controls are relaxed, they let the fool out, and that's the real person right there. The next one, their temperament and personality. A lot of the time, it's nothing that you're doing that's causing someone to be mean. It's simply their innate personality traits. Well, then who wants to be around some kind of asshole like that? Next one, they are experiencing grief or loss. The pain of loss or grief can lead someone to lash out at others. This is because they are both intense emotions that can make people act out of character. I disagree. Usually when people are grieving and stuff, they're very sad, but they're not being mean to anybody else. You got somebody who's being mean, again, like I said, it's their innate nature. They just want to be mean to somebody and trying to use that as an excuse. Or next one, they feel triggered by your actions, okay? You may not realize it, but you could have done something to hurt or annoy the person who is now being mean to you, which is causing a negative behavior. Okay, so you don't know how to open your mouth and say, you did such and such. I didn't like it when you did that. You need to apologize. So you can apologize until you all can move past it. They just gonna be like mean to you for no reason when you didn't even know that you did anything. That's stupid. Next one, they want to teach you a lesson. Okay, I'm guilty of this one. You ever see their behavior as mean, but the person acting this way might see the way that they're treating you as a form of tough love or correction. It's important to differentiate between constructive criticism and controlling behavior. Well, that's true. I don't want to control anybody. There's also a thin line between being helpful and hurtful. But a lot of that is in the perception. Okay. Because if you do some fuckboy shit and I tell you flat out, that's some fuckboy shit. I don't like that shit. Don't you do that shit again. And then you decide that you don't like me saying that. You do fuckboy shit and you want to make it sound pretty and, say, well, please don't. You don't want it like that. I'm not going to go through them changes for you. I'm just going to tell you that you did fuckboy shit and don't you do that shit again. And if you don't like it, you get in your feelings, you want to cry, you get the snowflake action going on. That's your red wagon. You're entitled to do that. But I'm not going to change the way I deliver my message because you want to act like you got sensitive feelings. Where was your sensitive feeling when you were doing that fuckboy shit? So you wasn't thinking about your sensitive feelings then. So what you get is the reverse Uno. And so there you go. Should have watched what you did and said, and then you wouldn't be having this problem. Yeah. Alcohol, man, people be talking all kind of crap when they get, they get that fire water in them. They get to talking all kind of crazy stuff. Okay, they're going through a rough patch in their life. These are supposed to be reasons why people are mean to you, according to this author. Personal struggles can lead to mean behavior. Well, they're stressful. Yeah, they might be stressed and stuff. Yeah. But still, that's no reason to be mean to you. Don't take it out on you. They're dealing with emotional issues, personal problem. According to Healthline, emotional distress can affect people's moods and cause unusual irritability or aggression. They desire attention. Seeking attention through negative behavior is not healthy, but it does happen. They are shallow and arrogant. That's the next to last one. They're shallow and arrogant. Arrogance and superficiality often lead to meanness. This type of person will target those they perceive as weaker or nicer than them. And the final one, you have a toxically positive attitude. Excessively positive attitudes can inadvertently trigger meanness in others. This occurs when an individual's constant optimism dismisses or invalidates genuine emotions, creating frustration amongst those seeking empathy for the real world challenges. Striking a balance between maintaining a positive outlook and acknowledging the complexities of human emotions is crucial. Now, that's true. That's like the girl earlier who said she knew her boyfriend was having family troubles and she just wanted him to text her about it so she could be emotionally distant from it. Remember that letter? That was earlier today. All right, I'm going to have another swig. Yeah, this is basically a 17 excuses for why people just act a zip damn fool. But, don't say nothing when you act mean and then it comes back on you or you get cussed out. Don't say nothing. Okay, let's move on. The next thing we're going to talk about is rejection sensitivity and the next letter break. How am I doing on time? Okay. Very good. We got plenty of time. All right. Question number 14. This is a young lady, 22 to 27. Summary of issue. Did I make a mistake letting him go? So I'm doing online dating and generally go through those normal chat, meet, and either make a friend or just mutually disappears. I then matched and met with a much older guy and felt a connection with him. Before our first meeting, he made me feel bad for not messaging him not messaging him in a few days, but I realized he is the type of person that jokes around. We agreed on Friday night. He canceled that it was storming, which got me a little disappointed, but it didn't take too much and wouldn't put too much on it. He postponed for the Saturday, which immediately I said no to because it was my mom's birthday. So we decided on Sunday. On Sunday morning, he called saying that he had sprained his back at the gym, no problem, wished him well, and just carried on. He then agreed to meet on Tuesday, which he canceled as he had a last-minute meeting at work, and then finally agreed to meet on Thursday. And he met after I followed up if we were still on. The meeting was really wonderful. I got nervous, but he seemed to be the perfect guy for me at the meeting. Mature, good-looking, family-driven, career-driven. We left the night with a little peck on the lips. I messaged him when I got back home and told him I had a good time. He replied the same. So now a week goes by and I didn't hear from him, so I messaged. He again, quote, joked, saying how I could ignore him for so long. I apologized and also in a weird way asked him where is the rule book on who must text when. He ignored the comment and said he was going to bed. I tried being witty all along and tried my best not to be needy, but also I did tell him that he scares me and I doubt myself, but I really showed I wanted to try. After a few days after again seeing me on the online dating, he messaged. We chatted and again tried to remain cool, so he decided to meet again. He was going to visit me at my place. What? On the second date, you're gonna let him come all in your house? Because I really liked him and wanted to impress him, I prepared to cook. On Saturday, I messaged in the morning to confirm if we were still on. Huh. I thought we were. After a few hours, he replied saying he has the flu and apologized for not messaging earlier. Sitting with a very sad and disappointed feeling alone in my apartment, looking at all the prep I did to cook for him, I messaged him saying that I didn't think that this was going to work out and that I was disappointed as I was going to cook for him. He replied saying, I am hitting a man while he is down. I then replied that he's a big boy and he'll be okay. He then deleted my number. Although I told him off, I still feel bad. Was I showing a needy attitude that disgusted him? Why did he keep canceling on me? I'm generally a happy and confident person, yet he made me doubt everything I said. I am now sad and still want to message him, but I know it's my ego. But I did like him in person. Did I just let a potential guy go? No, you let a clown go. First of all, by the time, okay, I don't know, you better than me because, well, okay, everybody gets one chance. Okay. By the time he canceled that second time, I would have been done. I would have blocked him, and we all them changes that you wouldn't have done that. Yeah, she invited him to the second date. She invited him to her house and cooking for his ass. Please, you better get a pizza and be happy. And we did not eating it at my house either. We're gonna eat at the pizzeria. She's desperate. That's unfortunate. And men can sense that neediness, that desire like that. And a guy who, wants to play it loose and easy, which is probably why he was on the dating site to begin with, is going to avoid a woman like you who tries to glob onto him. When a man puts you through that many changes, with all that canceling is disrespect. And if you stick with him and accept it, then he knows he can do anything. And that thing where, you didn't text him and stuff and say, I'm not supposed to text you. You're supposed to be the man here. You should be texting me, but since you didn't, we're not gonna go out. I'm just calling to tell you goodbye. That's all. Thanks for nothing. I mean, is it me? Am my rules that stringent? I just don't. It's a whole bunch of shit I'm just not gonna take. I'm not gonna take some man cancel on me repeatedly, like 3 or 4 times or 5 times or whatever. I mean, it's just a lot. He kept canceling on you and you just stayed right in there like he's the only man on earth. Yeah, he's playing games. He probably married or something anyway, so that's why he couldn't break free and kept canceling on her because his wife was keeping an eye on him. Question number 15, which is actually like 17, right? Because we had 2 8s and 2 7s. Summer issue. Do I tell my friend that her crush doesn't like her? She's 18 to 21. I'm a high school student, and you know how people in my age group are with their crushes. Now I'm a part of a few groups, one of them being with boys and one being with girls. A guy friend of mine has been flirting with a girlfriend of mine, and the girl likes the boy, but the boy doesn't really like her. Not like that. Should I tell the girl or just stay out of it? I don't want to participate in drama or meddle, but should I say something? No, you should not. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times, do you think that he's going to tell you everything? Don't you know that a lot of times when especially teenage boys, they like a girl, but they don't know what to do with those feelings. They don't even know how to talk to her. They will tease her and, say mean things to her, whatever, but they want her attention. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have feelings for her. So you're looking on the outside looking in, and from you, it doesn't look like he has feelings, but you don't know that, right? You haven't talked to him about it because it's none of your business anyway, who he likes or how much he shows or anything else. So if it's meant for her to find out if he likes her or not, she'll find out when he lets her know that. Other than that, you shut up and stay out of it because you don't know shit. Just talking out the side of your neck and being in other people's business. Learn this lesson now while you're still young. Stay out of other people's relationships. And the only reason I'm in them is because they write to me to ask me to be in them, right? Other than that, I don't mind. I don't do nothing about what other people are doing. Keep my mouth closed because it's not my goddamn business. Just like this situation is not yours. Learn to shut up sometimes. Keep your nose in your own affairs. Question number 16. This is a young man in 18 to 21 age group. Some issue. I don't know what's wrong with me and I need advice. I came here from Twitch. I don't want to ask people I know personally and look like a wuss. Basically, I met this girl on a dating app and we texted a little bit and we both seemed interested, but I just can't seem to get past the texting stage. She asked to call later and I say yes, but then it's later and I can't pull it together to call and talk to her. I feel like I'll say the wrong thing or just not know what to say at all. She's cute and I like her and I don't want to fumble it. I've had girls before that I talked to and liked, but can never get past this fear of actually engaging with them anymore, with engaging with them more rather. I feel like I'll never have a girlfriend if I can't get past this. I know I should probably just not care and talk to her, but the type of person I am, I'm always worrying about what others think, and I'm always trying to make myself look good, as in not trying to be disrespectful, help others instantly when I see they need it, etc. Sometimes I feel like my problem is just caring too much, but I don't want to then not care what's others think. I think you mean what others think and create enemies. Okay, you just knee deep in your head and your head is empty, or rather full of stupid shit. Okay, first of all, um, the main mistake that you're making and how you're fucking this up is you tell her that you're going to do something and then you don't follow through. Do you know that's the number one thing that women hate is men who say they're going to do something and then they don't do it? Do you understand that that means she can't depend on you, that you lie, that you're not a man of your word, that you don't mean what you say, and that she can't trust you? So that is the like you just put the nail in the coffin on this shit because you it's a wrap. She's never gonna trust you after this. And any man, young man listening to this, if you say that you're gonna do something, it is mandatory that you follow through. Remember this one phrase my grandfather used to always say: a man's word is his bond. Okay. If nobody can depend on your word, then you are sorry ass, piss ass little bitch. You're not a man at all. You just say shit just willy-nilly and nobody can count on you. That's not a man. A man rolls through the world so that he's like rock solid. People depend on him. They know he means what he says, and they know if he makes them a promise, he's gonna come through, short of ending up, in traction in a hospital or something like that. People have to be able to depend on you. That's manhood 101. Okay. And if you just something as simple as a phone call, you can't even follow through that, please explain to me how you think this girl's going to trust you with her heart and her body. It's not going to fucking happen. Little idiot. Get out of your head and stop worrying about what other people think. The only people that's going to be on the phone is you and her anyway. What the fuck was your problem? What are you worrying about other people for? Who was going to be in a relationship except for you and her? If you could ever get your shit together enough to be in one. This is just a disaster. This is what happens when boys don't get raised up with a daddy, though. They get just silly and just lost and don't have any direction for how to navigate manhood. I can already tell you don't have a father just by the way that you wrote this and the issues that you're struggling with. Because this is the kind of stuff that, your dad would have taught you. So you would have these life skills already in the 18 to 21 age group. The fact that you don't have them is very sad to me, but it's not too late. You can give them to yourself. But the number one thing that you have to do is don't you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it. Lose that behavior pattern now. Accountability and integrity are the cornerstone to you being a solid man, where a woman would fall in love with you and trust everything that you say to her. She will know that you mean what you say and she can take that shit to the bank. Otherwise, with you acting like this, all flaky and stupid, nobody's going to trust you, male or female, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing here. Secondly, now that I've ranted about that part, let's move on to this other part of this letter. You say you don't know what to say. Are you like a lecturer? You don't know how to have a conversation. See, this is the problem with texting. All you young kids play video games and you text and nobody is like living a life where there's actual human interaction. Stop fucking texting and y'all start calling each other on the phone. Young people need to associate, you need to be in each other's face and you need to have conversations using words, real words that are like in the dictionary. Not this, WID and all the stupid stuff that y'all be doing. Stop texting and have conversations with the young ladies. Have conversations with your male friends. Have conversations with your family members. Put your phones away and stop texting. Okay? You need to know how to have a conversation, especially you're going to be going to college and graduate and be out in the business world. You're not going to be texting your clients. You're going to be talking to them. You need to be comfortable with conversation and verbal communication and develop those skills now. Oh, Lord have mercy. I have a headache. Where are the parents these days? What are they teaching these kids? Okay, there's like 9 million things that you could be talking about. Just go look on YouTube or some news website or anything like that and just find stuff that's of interest to people in your age group and then start talking about that. Oh, I read this and that. I saw this and that. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's just Gen Z folks. You're right. They just have problems. It's sad. This is really sad. But the main thing I see the problem with them is too much texting and not enough, as we used to say, conversating. They don't talk to each other. That's why they'll never have nothing to say. They sit there like, remember the girls last week was talking about the day she went what to do, and he just sat there and stared at her. They have shit to say. How boring is that? Then these dudes wonder why girls don't want to date him and go out with him and marry him and stuff. You can't even construct a decent sentence. How's she gonna fall in love with you and you never talk to her? Stupid. Question number 17. This is a female, 22 to 27. Summer issue. Is it possible to tell my boyfriend that his lack of personal hygiene has been impacting my health in a polite way? Well, it probably is possible, but you're not going to hear that from me because I don't believe in mincing words. Like I said earlier, I just tell people what it is. It is what it is, and you're just going to deal with it. Well, let's see what you have going on here. My boyfriend and I have been in a relationship for close to 2 years now. We're both 22 years old. He stays over at my place a lot, so I've come to experience his daily habits up close and personal. One thing that I really notice is his lack of personal hygiene. Although he does shower every morning to every 3 days, I've come to notice that his feet unbearably smell. Not like your average funky feet smell, but it's borderline overwhelming at times. And the smell stains. What? Does that mean the smell lingers? Is that what she means? What I mean by that, is that whenever he stays over at my place, he leaves a lingering smell of feet in the bed sheets. Oh, god damn. Nasty ass. I can even smell it from across the room. One time he's left his feet on my pillow and it became embedded into the pillow itself, not just the cover. One of my friends hosts house parties frequently, and people would always comment on the smell the moment he takes his shoes off. Oh, Jesus. His hair is also very greasy, but at the same time gets a lot of dandruff. Ugh. I had recommended that he not use his regular 3-in-1 soap, as it could be contributing to the issue, and I've also bought him new shampoo and conditioner, but he refused to use them, saying this is a girl thing. Okay, these little girls and these nasty-ass boys. I also have to remind him to brush his teeth every morning and night. Sometimes I get lucky and he does it himself, but they're always covered in plaque. I've driven him to his past dental appointments and he's had cavities both times. He doesn't pay attention when he pees. He likes to use his phone when he uses the bathroom. So when he's done with his business, there's always a few spots of pee on his pants. At worst, he doesn't wear pants when he uses the bathroom at night. So when he comes back, there are wet spots in my bed. My mattress has begun to smell like urine because of this. I'm getting tired of trying to scrub it out with baking soda. Why do you date this clown? Ugh. I have very sensitive skin and eczema on certain parts of my body. Whenever he would tick me, I think she means lick me doing love, nook, or his feet touches me, my feet would get red my skin would get red and irritated. I thought it was just normal for me, but after we spent 3 weeks apart, my skin cleared right up and was healthy again. But one night with him would leave it red and itchy all over. I brought up all these issues with him as gently as I could, but he would immediately get defensive and say that it's my problem. My skin is so bad, and for expecting too much from him. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, so I would really appreciate some advice on how to bring these things up to him. You say, you nasty motherfucker. You need to bathe, shampoo, get that dandruff out your head, and do something about them goddamn froze smelling feet that you got. Don't you fuck up my sheets. The smell lingers here for weeks after you've been here. Don't you come back to my house until you clean up your shit. You're going to clean everything. You're going to go to the dentist, get your teeth cleaned, and you're going to brush your teeth, and you're going to wash your ass. And if you don't do that, then we're through here. Because I'm not going to be getting eczema and rashes and shit from your nasty, funky ass anymore. And why you put up with this shit is just unbelievable to me. And getting pee on your sheets, girl, that alone. Okay, the funky feet is one thing that would already drive me away. But then he going to put pee on your sheets too? And you know the dandruff and shit. And then you let him like touch your body with that yuck mouth he got? You this tripping big time. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. You cannot be this desperate for a man that you accept this nasty freak. So that's what I said. She's talking about, can I do it in a polite way? You sound like you already tried that. So now you got to get savage and do it Deb style. Let me tell you about your nasty, stinky, funky ass. You stink. Everything about you stinks. You reek of feet. You smell like ass and you pee everywhere. God, I mean, and then take it from there. I'm just saying, he wouldn't be with me. I need my man to be clean and to look decent and to not stink. Okay, so if you start stinking, we got a problem. Unless you like at the gym and you about to hit the showers because you worked out real hard and your deodorant is just hanging on by his fingernails. Okay, that I can deal with for 5 minutes. But you, other than that, and you come around me and you stinking and your feet are smelling, and we can't do this. I don't know what she better than me. I don't understand these girls. Why they be putting up with this shit? Just to have a boyfriend? And she been dealing with this shit for 2 years? I wouldn't deal with this shit for 10 minutes. I need some wine now. I need a swig. Yeah, this is a breakup. This is a breakup that's long overdue. And then that's their parents. It's like, you don't teach your kids to bathe. My brothers, when they played sports, they took, like every day. And then, when we were little and we didn't really do too much, people wasn't really stinking yet and everything. We took a full bath every other night at least. That was my mother's rule. Every other night. You bathed in the tub with soap and water. And then, like I said, when my brothers got older and they was doing sports, they was in the shower or the tub every day because they was funky playing sports and sweaty and stuff. I don't even know what to say. I'm just kind of like, woof, she better than me. I couldn't handle it. Okay, now let's talk about these rejection sensitivity. This is a topic that somebody had suggested because of the Gen Z and the millennial group that's just so worried about what other people think and so worried about rejection and somebody telling them no and not wanting them and all that kind of stuff. You know what? You can't go through life being afraid of being rejected because rejection is a part of your existence in this world. Do you think everybody's going to like you? That's really what you think. Everybody's going to agree with your opinion. Everybody's going to want what you want. Y'all tripping that you think that. It shows that you some kind of weirdo. Ain't nobody thinking about you like that. Your opinion don't count for shit. It only matters to you. Trust. But they get so defensive and so worried about somebody rejecting them and stuff. Like the little dude, he don't even want to call a girl after he told her he's going to call her because he's afraid he don't know what to say and people going to talk about him. Big old wuss. That is not, that's not sexy. Men who are afraid of rejection are not sexy to women at all. You're like a coward. And so nobody going to want to be with you. You got to suck it up, buttercup, and do something with yourself. Because it's like, you afraid of rejection all the time, then you never try to do anything. You never try because you just sit there cowering in fear that somebody's going to say something to hurt your little feels. big ass babies. It's disgusting to me to see a whole generation of men like this. Well, they're males, they're not men, but still, it's just a turnoff. So let's see. She got this one article. Who is this woman? Some PhD. 6 signs of being highly rejection sensitive. No one likes rejection. Who cares about rejection? I mean, that's like I said, it's a part of life. It's gonna happen. I don't worry about rejection. That's like I expect rejection, and then when it happens, I'm like, okay, that's fine. 6 common reactions of rejection sensitive people are: number 1, overreaction. You think about your experiences of rejection. Ask yourself, do I tend to overreact? Consider whether you tend to see rejection in ambiguous situations or you respond to small rejections as monumental ones. For instance, every time Stan's supervisor asked to see him, he was sure that he was going to be fired, despite that supervisor giving him frequent positive feedback. Stan is stupid. Number 2, being unable to move forward. One way people overreact is like they ruminate about failing or being rejected, like water flushing in the toilet. Their thinking spirals downward into a dark hole, and they are unable to climb out. And they do that to themselves. Responding with intense anger. If you are fearful of rejection, your fear may be accompanied by anger. It's a way of fighting back against the fear of trying to overcome it. While anger can feel more empowering than fear, anger also keeps you focused on the other person rather than on your own inner struggles. You may stir more trouble in your relationships and never really address or resolve your fears. Yeah, like the guys who they ask a girl for her number, right? And she says, no, thank you. Or no, I don't think my boyfriend would like that very much. Okay, then fuck you, bitch. He was ugly anyway. Or even worse, with violence. That's what that is, responding with intense anger at, being rejected. And it's like, because you ask someone for their number, they are entitled to say no. Just because you want it, that don't mean that they have to give it to you, clown. And they get all sensitive and then they feels and stuff. And then the woman knows then that she made the right choice because you don't even act like a man. You act like a 2-year-old. Big fucker. Guarding against judgment. Many people who struggle with feeling inadequate or unworthy are not, surprisingly, sensitive to rejection. Expecting to be rejected, they naturally guard against being judged by withdrawing socially or being extremely attentive and caring to others. Yeah, because they feel like if they are that way to you, then you'll be that way to them. While they might avoid rejection, they also suffer from feeling alone, either because they don't interact well with others or because they feel that friends would not like them if they knew, quote, the real me. My printer was tripping. It's cutting stuff off. And then the final one, being independent and self-sufficient. Extremely self-sufficient people are also more sensitive to judgment than they appear. Though they don't feel afraid of rejection, this lack of concern is a product of avoiding it. One consequence of this type of coping with potential rejection is that the person feels emotionally alone. They often don't even know that they are lonely. Instead, they might be more conscious of boredom or restlessness. So if you recognize any of these traits in yourself, it might be time to start looking more closely at your sensitivity to rejection. Consider the different examples of it in your life, blah, 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 blah. On this final one where they're saying the self-sufficient people are more sensitive to judgment than they appear, that I disagree with. I'm going to say this because the difference between some people who are self-sufficient and independent is that they will do things that will set them up to be rejected. But you know what? They don't care because they know that the only way to get through something, to get something new, to achieve a dream, to achieve a goal, you got to put yourself out there. You got to take the risk. The people who are afraid to take the risk are the ones who are afraid of rejection. The ones who take the risk and risk rejection are not. So that I kind of disagree with them with, but who am I? Who am I? What am I? Where am I? Why am I? All of those whys. But I think, all in all, that was interesting. I have some more on rejection sensitivity too, but let's go back to the letters for now. Let me see, where am I on time? 5:30. Okay, another hour and a half of this. Good Lord. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because I'm bringing these things up to him. Okay. This is the next question. Male 18 to 21. Summer issue. How should I react to my girlfriend, 19, calling me gay for taking care of her? My girlfriend of 8 months has recently, the past 2 months, started calling me gay in casual conversation or passing as a quote joke. This has been increasing to the point where I hear you're gay either out of the blue or mid conversation about 20 or 30 times a day, at least 2 to 5 times an hour. Why are you still with her though? Nothing wrong with being gay, but if you're not gay and her just hurling at you like an insult, that is disrespectful. And you're sitting there taking disrespect from somebody that you're supposed to be in a relationship with. Why are you doing that to yourself? Why are you allowing her to do that to you? Fire this heifer. Let's see what else this cow's been doing. This has been, okay, 20, 30 times a day, 2 to 5 times an hour. This has begun mildly irritating me. And I feel like that's all I hear from her, and it's becoming annoying. So when she says you're gay, you say, and you're a bitch. And every time she says, you be like, hey, bitch. Hi, bitch. You're such a bitch. I bet you her ass will stop then. See, you just taking it. You need to fire back at her. Every time she calls you gay, call her a bitch. 2 to 5 times an hour. She's a bitch. A fucking bitch. A stupid bitch. A dumb bitch. An ugly bitch. Whatever kind of bitch you want to add, and what kind of conjugation you want to put on it. You do fire it back at her so she can understand what is going on emotionally with you. You just taking this and write to me. I mean, it's great that you wrote to me because now I gave you an idea. Fix your lips and start firing back. That's the only way she's going to stop this. When she hurts your feelings, you have to hurt hers back. Because she's the kind of little girl that, she's stupid. And so you sitting there taking it, it makes you look weak. It's letting her bully you and intimidate you because you care for her so much, but you need to care more for yourself, son. You don't let some woman talk to you like this. And normally I'm not with calling women bitches, but this one, I'm going to make an exception in this case because that is what she is. Who does that? Who talks to their boyfriend like that? 20 to 30 times a day and you still dealing with her ass? I would have cussed her bitch ass out a couple of times by now. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, it's become annoying. For context, I'm a straight male and comfortable in my heterosexuality, so my issue is less the statement, but more the insulting angle that she's trying. Right. Tonight I was up working late on a project on my computer and she had already gone to sleep. Oh, so you live together? I decided to take a quick break from my work and leaned over to kiss her forehead, and this caused her to slightly wake up and mutter the words, "You're gay. I mean, you do everything for me. You do everything for a woman. That's as gay as it gets." Okay, so she don't even appreciate you. For some reason, this sent a knife through my heart, and I'm very confused and hurt by what she said in her subconscious state. I try to treat my girlfriend with the utmost respect and do as much as I can for her, and that is how I was raised to behave. Good job, your parents did good. And I don't know if what she said is positive or negative reflection of that. Any insight would be appreciated. What it is you have a girl who has low self-esteem and who doesn't feel that she deserves you. So she's putting you down to try to make herself feel better about, what they call it, imposter syndrome is what she's suffering from. So she doesn't feel like she deserves this kind of treatment. So rather than accepting it and learning to build up her own confidence, she instead putting you down and trying to make you feel bad for treating her that way. So what you have to do is sit down. Like I said, you could try the conversation way if you want to, and then just break it off. But I would have to do my method at least a day or two. So every time she says you're gay, I would say, and you're a bitch. She says you're gay, you shut up, bitch. Well, you're gay. Well, your mama's a bitch and you are too. Like that. I mean, I would just escalate. So then she's only sitting there with the Pikachu face, like, oh my God, where is he coming from? It's like, it's good enough for you to be calling me names, so you better be prepared to take it back. Take it. So from now on, every time you call me gay, you're going to be a bitch. And I'm going to figure out some kind of ways to, throw in some adjectives in there. And so it's going to be modifiers and all of that stuff. And then we're going to, this is how the relationship is going to end, is with us, is with our conversation deteriorating into this. And you would have started it. I want you to understand. So, really, that to me, if this doesn't work and she doesn't stop, then you're going to have to realize that this relationship is over. You need to, I love how your parents raised you, and that's good. You take care of your lady and stuff. That so many girls would appreciate that. So you go find one of them, because she ain't that chick. She ain't that chick. She just dumb. Yeah. My daughter's boyfriend's like that. That's how he was raised. Nice little white guy. He's, she helped him lose weight. He used to be kind of fat, but she got him on a, plant-based diet. She uses my recipes, and he dropped about 70 pounds, and then he started working out, so he looks cute now. And, she always was lean. I mean, that girl, she could eat the world, and she'd never gain a pound. I would be shocked, unlike me. Yeah, he deserves way better than her. So let's move on to some next letter. Question number 19. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary issue. My friends and I discussed this issue last night that we found online and want to get your take on the situation. Okay. So the post was about an engaged couple. She is 31 and he is 28. The woman wrote, quote, "My fiance wants to become a woman." Okay. "We want to stay together, but I am not attracted to women. What options do we have? You gonna break up? What you think you gonna do? We have been in a relationship for 5 years now and have been planning a future together." Well, that's not gonna happen, is it? "My partner said it doesn't change anything between us, and he, still going by he, him, would like us to stay together. We're telling people in hell want ice water too, but that shit ain't happening, Captain. I want to be supportive, and of course, if becoming a woman will make him happy, then it's probably the right decision." No, it means your man is crazy and he's a mental case. Tell him no amount of anything is going to turn him into a woman. Okay, he's a man and he's going to be born that way and he's going to die that way. Like whatever cosmetic shit he wants to do to his body and cut it up and dress it up and whatever, in the interim, he can look like a girl, but he's never going to be a woman, ever. It's not going to happen. It's scientifically and physically impossible to change your gender like that. It's not going to happen. It kills me how people think that they can do this shit, and they have all these people's minds all fucked up thinking that they can change to a woman or change to a man. Get real with yourself. Okay, you was born a woman, you're gonna die one. You were born a man, you're gonna die one, and period. That's it. That's all. So she says, "My feelings have not changed after finding out about this. The only problem is that I am not attracted to women whatsoever. What options do we really have? I told you, you're gonna leave his ass. The only one I can think of is staying in a platonic relationship with no sex. No, the other option is you leave his ass. I realize it's not the most important part, of course, but I do think that we would both miss the physical aspect and intimacy. What advice would you give her, Deb? We are so curious." I just told you. The fuck out. Because, it's nice that he says it doesn't change anything. It changes everything. I got into a relationship with a man because I like men. Okay, I like men. I like manly things going on below the waist. Okay, now you talking about you want to try to change and to become a woman, and you want me to be okay with that and sacrifice my life because you live in some kind of drunken fantasy that you can change your sex to something else? Motherfucker, for real? That's just not happening. I'm the fuck up out of here. You can take whatever hormones you want to and be whatever as confused as you want to be over there somewhere with somebody who gives a fuck, because it ain't me. I'm like, and it kills me how people think that they deserve your support. Fuck out of here. Where's the support from me? Where I'm sitting up here thinking I'm in a relationship with a man and talking about a future with him, and suddenly this motherfucker want to put on a dress and carry a handbag and call himself Elaine? No. You gonna do that shit by your damn self. That's what you gonna do. That kills me because, they don't talk about the support for the person who's caught in the lurch. They only talk about the serious minority that wants to become, the other. Hell to the no. So that's my advice for you. You just prolonging the inevitable because you're probably in a state of shock and not really sure what to do or what your next step should be. So you just kind of standing in place, trying to figure out if this can still work. And I'm flatly going to tell you it's not. Unless you give up your entire life in order for him to be pleased in his relationship, as he does with this fantasy he's dealing with, and you change your entire life and sacrifice everything that you want in life so that he's happy, I'm going to tell you right now, if you do that shit, you're an idiot. Okay, you're young, get away from him and go find you a man that likes to be in a man and wants to be in a relationship with a woman, and then you be with him. I don't even understand. And it's like, where do these people get this idea that that's what they're supposed to do? Mm, yeah, that wouldn't work for me. Okay, let's move on to question number 20. Female 35 to 42, summary of issue. Am I really asking for too much? I've been trying to get my boyfriend of 15 years to be more emotionally available. Well, he is what he is. You ought to know that after 15 years. Every time I try to tell him how I feel about something or what would be helpful in the relationship, he always gets angry, dismissive, gaslights me, blame shifts, or will act and or will finally acknowledge but never follow through with action. Okay, so why are you still with him then? How desperate are you? I am 40 years old and there is zero intimacy. He doesn't initiate and I don't either. I've told him I need to feel more connected emotionally before I can be physical again. Just last evening, we two were talking about our son. I got emotional talking about how much I love our baby and started crying a little bit. He just looked off into space and didn't seem to care that I was crying. I told him at times like this would be nice if you offered me some support, comfort, or console, or just showed you cared. He told me he doesn't have to validate all my feelings. He said this multiple times now, making me feel worse. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like it's validating my feelings by caring about your partner and offering them a hug or some emotional support or empathy while they're emotional. And shouldn't you want to validate your partner's feelings anyways? No, not always. Anyway, it's been years of this. I do love him, but I'm 40 and not married and trying to decide if I want the rest of my life to be this way. Or if maybe I'm just asking too much from him. Yeah, from him. But there's like millions of other men in the world. For context, I don't ask for much. I just want to feel like my partner cares about how I feel. But being with him for so long and having a 12-year-old son together makes things complicated. Any advice is helpful. Thank you. Why is it complicated? Again, another woman who's sacrificing her what she wants in life for a man. Why are you doing this? What do you get out of this? Now, you talking about people validating your feelings. I'm not about that life either. I mean, it depends on why you're crying. Like, was a son in an accident and now he's in the hospital? Or you just sitting up there talking about him and then you start crying and you think people supposed to give you a hug? Fuck all that. Stop fucking crying. What are you crying for? Nothing to cry about. He's a 12-year-old. He's a kid. I mean, he's not even like he's an adolescent now. He's not like a baby. What the fuck are you doing? So on some of this, I mean, I probably would agree with him on some of it because you just sound like you just want too much. But if there's a real crisis and then you're crying, well, then of course I would be on your team. But you just sitting up there talking about your son and bursting into tears and thinking everybody's supposed to make a big deal about your boo-hoo. No, get over it. Go in another room and do that shit. Ain't nobody trying to look at all that. I didn't even let my daughter do that when she was 3 and 4 years old. You don't be crying up in here about silly stuff. If you hurt or something, that's one thing. But you just start, sitting up there throwing a tantrum and then you start crying, get in your room, close the door, and you come out when you get finished with all that. Because I don't want to see it. And I used to tell her that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear it either. Go in your room and get over it. And then when you come out, when you get done. And so that's what we would do. I'm not saying you can't cry and feel your emotions, but we're not gonna do that here because I'm not about that life. Yeah, basically get out. It was just get out. So I don't know. I have a problem with some of the stuff that you put here, but if this is how your man's been this way for 15 years, why would you decide now that you need to think about it just because you turned 40? If he wasn't meeting your needs emotionally way before then what you have a baby with him for? What'd you stay with him for? Why did you devote 15 years of your life, the best years of your life, to a man that wasn't meeting your needs emotionally? And now you want to complain about it at 40, 15 years down the road. Do you know how silly you sound? Either accept it, this is the man you love, this is who he is, or move on and stop complaining. Those are your two choices. Man, whining is like, ugh. Question 21. This is a woman 50 to 56 age group. Summary of issue. My partner's adult son takes advantage of him. Hi, Deb. I feel annoyed that my partner's adult son is taking advantage of him. My partner and I have been together for 5 years. We're both in our 50s. He's about to turn 60 soon. We aren't currently living together. However, this is something that we plan to do in the future. He has a son who is 25. He works full time but seems to lurch from one financial crisis to another. He has a decent job. However, I do accept that he has to pay rent in a fairly expensive part of the country. On many occasions, my partner will help him out financially. Sometimes it's for things like rents or bills. I also know that he's paid off debts for him in the past. However, this isn't something that my partner talks to me about a great deal, as he knows that it annoys me. His son has now met a girl and they're looking to buy a house together. My partner had some money set aside to help him with a house deposit. I have no issue with this, as it's something that I would do for my children too. I just think that after that, it all needs to stop. He even has his car financed in my partner's name, as he was unable to get the rate that he wanted. My partner thinks I'm being unreasonable and that it is his money and that he's willing to help. So I don't know, whatever this says. So something's not necessary. While that may be true, this isn't something that can continue if we decide to move in together. My partner thinks I'm being unreasonable and that it is his money and that he's willing to help out. So at necessary, whilst that may be true, this isn't okay. She put that twice. This isn't something that can continue if we decide to move in together. Okay, so I see what she did. She duplicated her paragraph. I'm going to agree with him because A, you're not his wife. So what he does with his money is not your damn business. If he gave it all to his son and decided to live in a park in a tent, that would be his business. The only reason it would affect you is if he comes and lives with you or you all move in together and then suddenly his pocket is light because he's giving all his money to his son and he expects you to fill in the difference. Well, they see now we're singing a different tune. But as long as it's his money and he's not looking for anything from you, then why do you even care? Would I move in with him? Absolutely not. Is it stupid for him to give his son money to buy a house with a girlfriend? Absolutely. Stupid. If the boy didn't have the credit to buy a car, that means that he's not going to have the credit to get a good mortgage rate either. So is the mortgage going to be in the partner's name too? So he's just going to be taking care of this 25-year-old for the rest of his life? Like he's a baby? So see, to me, I wouldn't be interested in a man who had a kid like this. That wouldn't work for me. I want to see you make your kids be independent and strong, not to coddle them and treat them like a baby well into their 20s. This doesn't work for me. Question number 22. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. Summary of issue. How do you work through the quarter life crisis? I really want to find my spark again. What is that? Quarter life crisis? Quarter life? What is that? 25? What was y'all doing at the age of 25? I know some of you was only 25 last week. But what were you doing at 25? Yeah, I never heard of quarter life crisis. That's some bullshit. That's some Gen Z made up bullshit, excuse making that sound like to me. I'm gonna see what she got to say in a minute, but I'm just trying to get an idea. What would everybody, make a sentence or two. What were you doing at the age of 25? I could tell you what I was doing. Traveling around with my friend who was a flight attendant for Continental Airlines. I was going everywhere, doing everything, being in the place, in the know. She knew a lot of football, NFL players. So we was always at some party. That's what I mean, like coast to coast. Because I could go anywhere for $50. That Continental flew. It just $50. It was what they call it, a buddy pass. I think it was the name of it at the time. $50, you basically paying the tax. And I would be on the plane, and we went everywhere. And this is $50 round trip, not each way. So we stayed in the street. She'd be like, girl, I'm going to Atlanta this weekend. I'm going to get you a buddy pass. I got bet. Give her the $50. We jump on the plane because she'd be, the flight attendant. I'm on the plane with her. And so That was my life for years. That was the best. I'm just gonna say that was the best. And then I got married. I don't know what happened. I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, that was me at 20. I wasn't like quarter life crisis. I was too busy partying my ass off and having fun and meeting different men and just going places and dating and just having a good old time. Buying my little hoochie gear and stuff, just doing the most. Yeah, it was wild. I mean, I think about my life. It's like people probably think this sounds like a Lifetime movie, but it was real. I just happened to meet the right people at the right time. I tell you that. Because I wouldn't be able to afford to do that any other way, but $50, I could swing that. Hey, Anna. Welcome to the sinking ship. Okay, so she in a quarter life crisis. It's hitting real hard. My self-esteem is taking a hit because I'm not where I was hoping to be at 25. See, doubting my career choice, myself, my ability to achieve goals, go after what I want with confidence, and following through with it. I just feel so lost. I don't finish any project that I start. My confidence is taking a plunge, and I just had a meltdown yesterday because it feels like I'm living with no purpose, that I missed the boat on certain career moves, that I wasted the past 2 years putting a ton of thought into my actions. I go on dates, but none of the relationships ever graduated into exclusivity, which makes me wonder what's wrong with me. I've read so many books on relationships and business, yet still seem to have no clarity about what to do next on either front. Nothing satisfies me, and I'm aggravated by my imperfections. Wow. I struggle with perfectionism, but recently my inner critic has been exceptionally loud. How did you live, Deb? And how did you get over this? I don't even know what the fuck you talking about. You done made up some shit. Your generation kills me with your afflictions. You Gen Z people, you always got a label for some shit that's just regular life. Okay, you want to label it and just build a shrine to it and talk about it and write about it and make it a big deal. Okay, most 25-year-olds are struggling to find where they belong in the world. That's what you're supposed to be doing in your 20s, finding that out. Okay. So nothing about what you said is unusual. The thing that's bothering me about you, though, is you say you never finish anything that you start. Can you start there? Because that makes you flaky and stupid. And if you can't finish nothing you start, and yet you expect to be in a committed relationship, why would anybody want to be in a relationship with you? You don't finish anything that you start. That means you don't have a sense of completion about anything. You don't have a sense of accomplishment about anything. That's why you have low self-esteem, because you haven't done shit. You have to do things in order to measure their worth when you're completed. When the projects are completed, you get to see their value, and then you feel proud of it. If you never complete it, that final step is missing. You see what I'm saying? Finish some shit. Go back, and some of them things that you start, finish them. If you get a sense of satisfaction of completion, that's what's missing in your life. So you're going to constantly feel unsettled and stuff because you got shit all up in the air. It's like 900 different things that you haven't actually done anything. Finish some shit first. Okay, then you'll get a sense of accomplishment. You'll see your confidence boost, and then your self-esteem will go right along with it. You cannot expect a man to buy into you if you never complete anything. He would be just another one of your uncompleted, half-ass done projects. Ain't nobody trying to be with you under them circumstances. You don't even understand the karma that you're bringing on yourself. You have to get yourself together and act like a mature individual. Adults finish their things. Adults make commitments and they stand by them. You have finishing stuff means that you haven't committed to anything. You're just drifting through life like a tumbleweed. And then you expect me to tell you what to do? I just told you. So you get started doing that. I mean, the fuck? This is unbelievable. Pick a project and finish it. Okay, make that happen next week. Put 3 to 4 things down to finish by say June, and do it. Okay, then write me back because this is just stupid. Let me see what Diana said. Exactly. That's the part that's killing me. It's like, how you gonna be in a relationship with this mentality? You have to have your shit all the way together to deal with these men these days. And she all half dancing and half stepping and tap dancing around through her life and talking about I'm having a quarter life crisis. Little heifer, if you don't get your shit together and stop talking, stop trying to make excuses for your lack of focus and direction, lack of self-discipline, that's what this is. You just freestyling through life and then thinking this just supposed to magically happen and fall in place while you don't actually do anything to make it be so. It's just supposed to happen by magic. That seems to be the tone of your letter. Oh, I'm behind, but I don't finish anything. That's what happens when you don't finish anything. You get behind. My God, let me get some. Here's my water. I don't even know what to say. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about this one here. She got four strategies to cope with rejection, because we talked about rejection sensitivity earlier, which is at the root of many people's low self-esteem, singleness, a fear of asking a woman out for guys. We're always worried about what other people think about them. Are they good enough? This is all fear of rejection sensitivity. You think people are going to reject you because of all these things that you see in your mind, instead of just going forward with your life and just if you got to take a hit on the chin, you take it, you dip and roll, and you stand back up and you keep it moving. It's called having resilience, and I think the Gen Z people just don't have any. You better find some though, because you can't live without it. Your life is going to be all fucked up. So let's talk about these 4 strategies to cope with rejection. Yep, rejection does hurt, but here's how to bounce back. Rejection contributes to feelings of inadequacy or unworthiness. Fear of rejection leads to avoiding intimacy and anticipating even more rejection. Cope with rejection by grieving, not assuming you caused the rejection, building resiliency, and remembering that everyone experiences rejection. Exactly. And you know what I noticed though? It's not the fact that it's rejection per se. They're afraid of rejection by women. So they can take the fact that they get denied a credit card, that they don't get the car loan rate that they was interested in, that the apartment that they wanted, they chose somebody else. The job that they interviewed for, they chose somebody else. That doesn't seem to bother them the same. It's strictly focused on rejection by women that these guys have it. And I can't figure out what the difference is. She's a complete stranger. Why do you think that she should, because you like her booty, that she's supposed to just bow down and give you what you want? Fuck out of here. Stop thinking that you just to cast me out and that everybody wants your little stupid ass. Nobody wants you. If you go into it with that kind of frame of mind, you'll never be disappointed or feel rejected because you won't be expecting anything anyway. And then if something happens, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, they wimps. They all of them big ass babies. And it's not sexy. That's the thing I keep trying to get these young dudes to understand. When you act like that, it's not sexy to women. Women want a man who's strong, who's decisive, who's got courage. And if you sit there cowering in the corner talking about, oh, somebody might reject and hurt my feels, then you seem like you're just a little bitch. And no woman finds a little bitch man sexy. And she don't want to be with you. And that's why you're still single. Because, these days, like so many single women, it's like a good looking guy who's, got a little height on him and looks like something, he could get a women. But, the fact that they don't put anything out and they're just scared of their own shadow is such a fucking turnoff. Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to be with you because you just like milk toast and weak and stuff. It's not attractive at all. It's not masculine. It's very wimpy and wussy. Gross. Okay, so let's see what this person is talking about. Who is this? She's a LCSW. Okay, so she feels like sometimes the sense of fear of rejection comes from childhood. So she's like, well, these are common childhood or teen years experiences that might cause later a fear of rejection. Were you bullied as a kid? Did you try for a team or a school play and you didn't make the cut? Yes, but I was relieved because I didn't want to do the shit in the first place. Having no one to sit with at lunch, being the last one chosen in phys ed, not being asked to prom or invited to a party, not getting into the college that you wanted, having a partner cheat on you or break up with you. Well, yes, we've all experienced those in one form or another, but that's where resilience comes in. Like I said, you don't let that be a condemnation of your very soul. It's just the kids in that school, the kids in that class, the people in that moment. That's nothing to do with who you are as a person and who you're going to be as an adult. So why would you let that stop you from doing anything? This is where parenting comes in. You got to talk to your kids and help them find the tools to deal with this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You don't just leave them to sit there by themselves and figure it out. They're little kids. They don't know anything. You as a parent have to step in and explain shit to them and tell them that this is just a temporary situation. Don't take it personally. Just let's keep it moving. Okay. You'll be in high school, you'll be in college, you'll be an adult, and these people won't even matter. So you don't let them impact you like that. They're not the whole world. They're only this little microcosm of life right here that you think is so big and important. They in 10 years, you're going to even forget who they are. So you don't let them affect your life like that. So then she says, unfortunately, some children also experience rejection at home. This adds another layer of pain. Rejection from your parents and family might have included being criticized, told you're not good enough, or called derogatory names, being abused, neglected, or abandoned, being placed up for adoption, even though it was done with love, it can still feel like rejection, being ignored, being told that your feelings, ideas, or beliefs are wrong or don't matter, your parents favoring your siblings, being sent away because you were, quote, difficult or troubled, being told you're not talented and should give up your goals and dreams, you lack of a support or disapproval of your sexual orientation or gender identity. Okay, so then, yes, you talk about how young children, okay. Then she says rejection leads to putting up emotional walls. Because rejection is so painful, we naturally want to protect ourselves from future rejection. We do this by putting up emotional walls or not sharing vulnerable things, such as things we feel insecure or self-conscious about, our problems, hopes, and dreams. We falsely believe that this will take the sting out of rejection. This holding people at a distance will keep us from getting attached or falling in love, or that rejection won't be as painful for the other person if they didn't know us deeply. So now we get to the good part. She went through all that explanation. So now we get to the part where she says how to cope with rejection. Number one, acknowledge the pain and grieve the loss. We feel ashamed or embarrassed when we're rejected and just want to put it behind us. Sometimes this leads to suppressing our feelings, denying that we're in pain, or doing things like thinking or eating too much to cope. Okay, yeah, but some people just be doing the most. I mean, it's like, acknowledge the pain. I mean, they shouldn't even be feeling pain over the rejection that they suffer. It's a complete fucking stranger that you asked for her number and she said no. Why do you feel pain about that? That should just roll off of you like water off of a duck. It doesn't matter. She doesn't know you. You're not invested in anything with her. And if you are invested in a relationship with a complete stranger that you don't know, asking her for her number, then you're the weirdo. Okay? There should be no involvement there, no emotional attachment at all. Just doing just the absolute most. Sometimes it can be useful to take a look at your behavior and how you present yourself. That doesn't mean rejection is because you did something wrong. Exactly. Sometimes you don't get the job because the CEO decided to hire his niece, or as a first date doesn't call you back because he feels insecure. It's not always about you, and it's unfair to blame yourself or take responsibility for things that were out of your control or to assume that you did something wrong. I never assume I did anything wrong. Why should I do that? I'm perfect, right? I'm wonderful. There's no one else like me. Being with me and having a relationship with me or even going on a date with me is a fucking privilege that is bestowed upon few. Okay? So I know maybe my ego is just out of control. That's probably it. But that's how I think. I seriously I don't condemn myself for anything. Like I said, if I did some fucked up shit, I did it because I wanted to. So I still own it. I'm still proud of it because it was what I wanted to do in that moment. Might have not made sense to anybody but me. But it was a decision I made and I own it and I'm fine with it. So it's like when you get embarrassed and try to hide stuff, well, that's when you have a problem. So let's see here. Strengthen your resiliency. Oh, wait, did I skip number 2? What was number 2? What was number 1? Number one is acknowledge the pain and grieve the loss. Oh, I don't see where number two is. I guess I lost the page somewhere. Oops. Number three is strengthen your resiliency. Resiliency, that's what I was saying earlier. This is key to life. Resiliency is your ability to recover or bounce back from a setback. Psychologists believe it is a quality that you can learn. Things like having an open mind, avoiding an all or nothing thinking, focusing on solutions and what you can learn from the experience, seeking support, maintaining a sense of humor, remembering your strengths, seeing mistakes as necessary steps on the road to success, and practicing self care contribute to resiliency. Well, I do all of those things and didn't even know that that was how you'd be resilient, but I think that's one of my better qualities is my resiliency. Because first of all, I don't take anything much personally. No matter what happens, I don't take it personally unless it's I don't know. Because even when people disrespect you, it speaks more about them than it does you. That they think that that's okay to treat people that way. You see what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna defend myself. I have boundaries. I'm gonna cuss you out and tell you about yourself. But am I going to take that as an indictment of my worth and value? Absolutely not. Am I going to bounce back from that and just keep it moving forward? Absolutely. Because that's what I do. I'm not gonna let you stop me. As they say, one monkey don't stop no show. Fuck out of here with that. Let me see what she say. That don't have a life. You might be right. You might be right, Kiki. Uh-huh. Yeah, but that's so immature and high schoolish. You know what I mean? You got to feel like you're a man because of the woman that you pull. You have low self-esteem. You should feel good about yourself as a man just on the strength of what you've accomplished, what you stand for, how you roll through the world. You don't base it on somebody else, some third party outside yourself. That is not self-esteem. And the guys who do that are just weak and mentally weak. And I wouldn't want to be bothered. But you're right, that does happen. But I still have no respect for them. And then number four, keep putting yourself out there. Writers and artists are notorious for persisting despite being rejected over and over again. Part of their ability to do this is their mindset. They accept that rejection is part of the process. It's necessary to get published or launch a successful career. Exactly. Got to keep trying. You got to keep it pressing. Keep it moving. Don't let nobody stop you. Let me see what else I got in here. Oh, well, let me go. Let me just do some more letters and then we'll go back to this stuff. So I'm mixing it up a little bit. Nobody got anything to say? Yeah, I guess it would help if I put the link in there too, huh? Because nobody could call in if I didn't tell you how to do it. Deborrah. There we go. In case you have something you want to contribute to this conversation, that's how you do it. Why did this light turn red all of a sudden? That's bizarre. Um, that's how you do it. There's the link to be backstage and speak on the mic. Okay, I just put it in there. If you have something that you want to say to add to this conversation, you want to talk about rejection sensitivity, you want to talk about resilience, you want to talk about one of the advice questions that we read tonight, any of that kind of stuff, that's the link right there. Just click it. And if you're on your phone or tablet, you got a microphone in there or you got a headset working, it should be fine. Thank you, Marissa. I think I do too. All this life experience got to be good for something. I'm glad when it helps young ladies not get out from, they can learn from examples. So learn from the mistakes of the people that write this column. Don't do what they did. Don't do what they did. Okay, just do different, do better. Let's move on to question number 23. This is a young lady in the 18 to 21 age group. Summary issue. I am 21 and I adore my boyfriend. He's 24, but our sex life is dead. How do we fix this? At 21, you know what that is. He got too much popcorn or he's gay. It's one of them two. At 24, right? It's got to be one of them two things. Okay, so let's see which one it is. Let me start this off by saying that I don't plan on breaking up with him over this. He's the most wonderful guy I've ever met. At 21, how many guys could you have met to compare him to? You ain't been nowhere and you ain't done shit yet. Okay? He's super sweet. We make a perfect match. And ever since we met, we've been attached at the hip. But basically, my problem is the following. We've been dating for almost 2 years now. In the beginning, we were having nook basically every time we saw each other. And I was the one that always was initiated. But by the third month, we weren't doing it as much since the initial excitement was wearing off. And I wasn't initiating as much either. I'm not a very superficial person. And even though I do find him cute and adorable, I wouldn't say I find him hot or that way. His looks turn me on. He's a bit chubby and he's bald. I like the way he looks clothed. But when he gets nude, it just doesn't do it for me. Like in the beginning, I didn't mind. I used to think that I just wasn't in the movie because I'm not a high libido type of person. But I'm starting to think that maybe it's that I just don't want to have nook with him. I've caught myself gawking at other guys, which makes me feel awful and even fantasizing about fictional characters. I've talked to him about starting to work out in the real near future, and he agreed to it. He's always also agreed to try to flirt with me more, so I get in the mood more often. He was never initiated, even though he would complain about us not having look. So, anyways, what can I do about this? I really don't want to lose him. I don't know. Because at 21, I wasn't thinking about being in no relationship. I told y'all that was not my mindset. I wasn't trying to be like, no. I was too busy traveling around and being a garden tool. So like I did what I wanted to do. And that did not include nobody's commitment and relationship and all that kind of shit there. So I really don't know what to tell you at 21. I think that you're sacrificing a lot just to say that you have a boyfriend. That's what I think. Would I recommend that you continue on this path? Absolutely not. You're not attracted to the man physically. That's why you don't want to screw him. There has to be that kind of level of passion there where you want to touch your mate, you want to kiss him, you want to sit in his lap, you want to do back hugs, you want to do front hugs, you want to lay up on him and all this little stuff there. If you don't have that about this guy, then you're doing both of you are just wasting each other's time. Right? I mean, you have to have that in order for a long-term relationship to work. The fact that you struggling and trying to manufacture it and shit, and you only been together for 2 years and you're only 21 years old. Do you even understand the significance of what you're saying here and how silly it sounds? Absolutely desperate just to have a boyfriend. Get rid of this boy. You don't have to be mean and break up and make it bad or anything. But just understand that you guys are not really compatible long term and go find somebody else. I mean, you can find another guy who's sweet and hot. Where you just look at him and you just want to jump his bones. I tell you, with my husband, I mean, he used to go on, we had been together for years, right? And he would go on business trips because, like I said, he had this company, networking company. So he'd be gone, right? He'd come in. So just like when I open the door and see him coming up the walkway, my heart would start racing. And I'm thinking, ooh, who is this fine motherfucker right here? Who is his wife? Oh, that's me. Damn, I'm lucky. I would think like that after all those years together. If you don't even have that after 2 years and you only 21 years old, this is not boding well for your relationship. You have to have that kind of attraction or it's never going to work. It's not going to work. She's not asexual. She just with a man that don't turn her on. That happens, people it just happens. Like she said, she never was really that attracted to him in the first place, but she tried to make it, manipulate around and make it work because he's chubby and all this old stuff here. I don't like mushy dudes. When I touch you, I want to feel some hardness. everywhere. I want to feel muscles. I don't want to know pudge. I don't like doughboy men. That ain't me. It's like I don't even want doughboy on myself. So why would I want a man like that? That's why my ass stay in the gym, working on my muscles and stuff. I don't want that look. I don't like it. I don't want that on my man, and I don't even want it on me. So that shit wouldn't work for me. That just would not work. But if it works for you, girlfriend, good for you. I don't know what to say. Let's see what else we got here. Look at all these damn letters. Okay. Question number 24. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group with a male 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I asked my boyfriend if I would eventually be added to the title of his house. I need some advice. What dumb shit have you done? My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and he recently purchased a home. He's 31, I'm 27. The house is in his name only, which we agreed was the best route to take since we don't think it's smart to buy a home with a boyfriend/girlfriend. This has raised some questions and sparked conversations between us. As of now, the plan is to have me contribute rent to half of his mortgage. Why would you do that? You hella stupid. He also has completely renovated the house, so any free time I have, I spend at the house helping get it in shape for us to move in. He's including me in the process and asking me what I like, and he calls a home ours. Of course he does. It gets you to spend time and money there for free. You hella stupid. My boyfriend is paying for all the renos himself. I offered to help contribute where I can, and he turned that down, right? Because he don't want you to have no claim on his property. I wanted to help contribute because I, one, don't ever want there to come a time where he can hold his house over my head by saying that he was the only one who contributed to its renovations. And number two, I've been under the impression that eventually it would legally be ours, and I want to feel like I put money into it. You hella stupid. Our long-term goal as a couple is to eventually get married, hopefully within the next 2 years. But then that's at the time in which you would start to put money in it. Right now, you're just a mere girlfriend. Your ass could be in the wind in like 16 minutes. I brought it up last night and asked if eventually when we got married, will my name go on the deed of the house? I told him I'm thinking about it because I will be helping him pay off the house and contributing to his investment equity. I feel like if I do that for a few years and I never get any stake in the home, I might feel resentment towards that fact. Also brought up how eventually I would want us to have more rights, like not being able to just be kicked out on a whim. I also talked about how if I'm investing a lot of my time and energy into his home, I'd eventually want that to be recognized in the form of getting my name added to it. My boyfriend asked why I cared so much and kind of accused me that I was after his money. No, he's after yours. He said I was acting sketchy. He also said, so just because I'm the breadwinner, I have to give you half of all my things? See, I hope you're understanding what he's saying to you. It hurt my feelings because I have never been about the money. I have a job, I work full time and bust my ass. Unfortunately, I work as a nurse and I don't make nearly as much as him. I wouldn't be able to buy a home by myself unless I had my parents lend me the money. Well, then have them lend you the money. He got kind of heated about the conversation. He said that we don't need to talk about this right now. On the other hand, feel it's an important conversation to have in the beginning. He eventually came around and said that he would consider adding my name to the house once we got married. I feel a little confused now about it if I'm being unreasonable. I want to make sure I'm approaching this the right way. Is there anything else I should be moving forward? Anything else I should do moving forward? Yes, you should not be paying half the mortgage. You should either stay at your place where you're living or somewhere, move somewhere less expensive so you can start saving money so you can buy your own place. Like you could start with a condo. You don't need a whole house. Start with a condo, townhouse, something like that. And you start, buy your own shit. And if your parents are willing to help you do that, then get their help and make it happen. Okay. So if you do marry him, you go into it with your shit. He goes into it with his shit, but neither one of you help each other pay anything for your homes. Now, what you would do, the reason why you don't want to do that is because you would be helping him build equity and he might maybe add your name to it if you even get married. You understand what's going on? The money that you've given him is real. Everything he's holding out for the future is just talk. It might happen. It might not. So you would be really, paying $2,000, whatever it is, you'd be giving him every month for, your rent or whatever. Stay where your ass is right now. If you can get into a place where you share housing expenses with another woman, do that so you can save more money. Move in with your parents so you can save more money and buy your own shit. Fuck him. Secondly, even if you do move in with a boyfriend like this, I'm gonna tell every young girl, listen to this, okay? When you move in and it's his shit, you don't help pay for nothing concerning his house. You don't buy a rug, you don't buy a window treatment, you don't buy some shades, you don't buy a doorknob, you don't buy shit for his fucking house. What you do if you're gonna live there, you buy the groceries, you pay the light bill, you pay the cable bill, you pay the water bill, you do something like that. It's a contribution, but it's not to his mortgage. He should be paying all that because it's his shit. He gonna be the only one getting the benefit from it. You do not contribute money to a man's mortgage. Don't you ever do that dumb shit. That's the stupidest shit that I've ever heard of. And so many women do it. It drives me crazy. Y'all is just stupid. You let these men tell because we love each other. And he's coming up off of your dime. He's building equity in his house and he's getting to pocket half of his money because your dumbass want to pay half of his shit. I wish I would, motherfucker would. I would. I'd be like, I'm not paying shit. And it's like, if you want somebody to live with you, I'm gonna start charging your ass every time I fuck you. I'm gonna charge you a fee. And so, yeah, that's gonna be my rent. Okay, understand what time it is. But it's stupid for you girls to move in with these dudes and then you pay half their mortgage. What the fuck are you thinking? What kind of parents did you have that didn't tell you about this game? And that you just go willy-nilly gonna be giving some clown that you just dating half of your money and helping him build equity in his fucking house if you don't get shit to show for it. You're dumb if you do that. Okay, don't do it. Like I said, you pay, the water bill to buy the groceries, whatever you're gonna do, but you don't pay anything for his house, nothing. You don't pay for any repairs, you don't pay to clean the carpets, you don't do shit if it's concerning his house. You do shit that's tangible, intangible, food, groceries, light bill, water bill, cable bill, that kind of stuff. You don't buy nothing that you can't pick up and take with you when you go. TV or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. You can do something like that, but you're going to take it when you leave. I wish I would. Think about come and pay half my mortgage. How about you kiss my ass? How about you do that? You must think I'm stupid. I'm not doing that shit. Okay, next question, number 25. This is a young lady, 22 to 27. The male is the same age group, summary of issue. My boyfriend promised that we spend his birthday weekend together, and he's now out with his friends instead. Do I have a reason to be upset? My boyfriend and I have been together for 6 months. So if you've only been dating him for 6 months, how long has he had these friends? I bet you way longer than 6 months. It's his birthday. He's turning 25. And at the start of the year, I'm 21, have been looking into booking a weekend for us, assuming that he would want to spend the weekend with me. How would you assume that and you just started dating him? So if we were talking about the beginning of the year, that means you'd only been dating him for 3 months, and you already trying to take over his birthday? He told me a couple of months ago that he and his friends were going to go away for the weekend for his birthday. And I told him I had been looking at plans for us. But why would you say that when he told you that he and his friends were going to go away? That means he already had plans. And then you tried to get him to change his plans because you wanted to be with him. See, violation right there. You should have done something the weekend after or the weekend before, but not the weekend of his birthday because he already had plans. So let's see what dumb shit you did. I got upset that he had made plans with them without even thinking of me. Why should he think of you? He's a few months before. You just got on the scene, chick. We had a big argument about it, and he promised that he'd book us somewhere for his birthday because he wanted to spend it with me. The plans then changed, and he decided he'd spend the Friday night with them and Saturday, Sunday with me. So I booked a night away and some activities and a meal for us. He then told me that his friends wanted to see him the Saturday night, so they were with him when the clock strikes midnight. I rearranged plans again, and he told me that he'd get the last train home so we could spend the rest of the night together. He woke up this morning and decided that he's staying the night away with his friends, so won't be back until the afternoon of his birthday and most likely will be extremely hungover. My question to you is, am I being unreasonable and feeling hurt that he has changed the plan so many times and it has somehow resulted in him and his friends spending his birthday together? What does him choosing to spend the night away with his friends instead of me say about a relationship? It says that you're a controlling little bitch. That's what it says. He told you from the get-go that he had plans with his friends. You know what you're supposed to do then? Say, okay, well, let me make plans for the weekend after, the weekend before, so we can celebrate your birthday at that point. And then, you go ahead, keep your plans with your friends. It would have went well. You would have been happy. He would have been happy. But no, you had to insist. So what this says is more about you than him. And really what he should do is leave your ass, because you too controlling. You want what you want, and it doesn't matter what he wants. And it is his goddamn birthday. He can spend his birthday whatever way he wants to, because it's his. Now he didn't offer to spend it with you. You pressured him into it. You pressured him. And so then he ultimately did what he wanted to do in the first place, which was be with his friend, which you could have just let him do that and just been gracious about it. But no, you had to just be all extra, right? Because he said that months ago that he had made these plans. Oh, well, I was going to book us the weekend. You weren't supposed to say that. You were supposed to say, oh, okay, well, I hope you guys have fun. I'll book something for us, maybe when weekend you get back, or would you rather go the week before? And then he would have said it, and then you could have booked it. You guys would have had a good time. But no, you just have to be, just extra and special. So you got your face cracked in that. I'm glad he did that. I'm so happy he did what he wanted to do on his birthday, because it's his. You don't have any right to tell him what to do. You only been around 6 months. You trying to dictate shit already? He ought to dump your ass. That's on the real right there. Oh my God. These letters tonight have just made me tired. Yeah. She didn't say it was a 6-month anniversary. She said it's his birthday. She said they've been dating 6 months. She did not say it was a 6-month anniversary. She said it's his birthday and that they've been dating for 6 months. That's what she said. And she just trying to take the fuck over his birthday, even though he'd already made plans with his friends. Months ago, she told you. So that means that when he told her that they had only been dating for like 2 months or so. But she gonna insist. So now she got her face cracking and feelings hurt. I don't feel sorry for her. That's what she gets. Yeah. I'm glad he did it. Good job, boy. Good job. Question number 26 is the last advice question. Female 22 to 27, summary of issue. My boyfriend disrespected me for the first time, saying that I was mentally ill, crazy, and abnormal during a small fight. What do I do next? Well, it depends. Do you like being called names? I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. My partner is 27, I'm 26, and we've been together for more than 3 years. We always had a healthy relationship and loved each other. But 2 days ago, I planned a trip with my girlfriends for this summer. He wanted to come, but I told him it wasn't possible since it's a girls' trip, and he hung up the phone on me. He has a tendency to hang up the phone when he gets mad, which I find very disrespectful. Okay, so why do you keep taking it, though? Why would you let a man repeatedly disrespect you like that? What is that about? Is he the only man in the world? Okay. Yesterday, I went for a walk at night, and he kept calling me to make sure I was all right. No, he was making sure that you wasn't with some man. That's what he was doing. I was still mad about the phone hanging up thing, so I was answering, but I was a bit cold. When I arrived home, we talked on the phone. And at the end of the call, I told him, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Before I finished my sentence, he hung up on the phone on me again for no reason without responding to my good night. That pissed me off. So I called him again and said, I wasn't done talking. And when someone says good night, you answer good night before hanging up. And then I hung up on him. Okay, you guys are like grossly immature. He texted me on WhatsApp and said that I'm annoying and abnormal and that I was mentally ill. And you didn't cuss him out? Okay. When I didn't answer him on WhatsApp, he texted me, you're crazy. I called him and lashed out at him, but saying how that was disrespectful. And he says that I was acting like I was mentally handicapped. I hung up the phone and fought myself to sleep. I just woke up and I'm feeling so bad. I don't know what to do. I feel so insulted and disrespected. And I can't believe what he said after 3 years of a perfect relationship. I don't know what to do and how bad the situation. Since I'm in love, I tend to forgive easily to move on. Is this okay if it only happened once? Or should I take some space? I don't know what to think and do. Okay, you said that several times. What you do is, first of all, he knew you were going on a girls' trip. Why would he think that he should come? and then to get mad and hang up the phone. Why do you date somebody who treats you like this? Why do you go through all these kind of changes with this immature chump? And I mean, wouldn't you be? I mean, first of all, just asking me to go on a girls' trip with me would have been enough for me to break up with him. But you trying to be around all my girlfriends for, motherfucker? No. As a matter of fact, let's just break up now because you doing too much. You know, I would just say I'd be looking for a reason to break up with them because I'm not taking no shit from these men. That kind of thing, that's a violation. What you gonna try to push up on all my? You gonna be in a group of women and you think that that's okay to ask me that and then to get mad when I tell you that it's a girls' trip, which he already knew that you were planning to go away with your girlfriends, and he want to try to go? Wouldn't you be suspicious about why? What's he trying to do? That wouldn't have worked for me. I would have had that this, you know what I mean? That's sus as hell. Then to hang up like he's gonna intimidate you into letting him go. Oh, well, okay. Well, since you hung up on me, I guess it's okay. And then he calls you horrible names, and then he texts you horrible names, and you feel like, well, since it's the first time in 3 years, that it's okay to overlook it. I'm telling you, it's never okay. I don't care if you've been with them 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 years, or 30 years. It's never fucking okay for a man to call you out of your name like that. It's never okay. The only thing you get to call me is beautiful, honey, sweetie, baby pie, babe, something, you know, my angel face or something. You could call me that kind of stuff, but you're gonna be calling me things like crazy, insane. What you say? You're crazy. Mentally ill and abnormal. Crazy, mentally and abnormal. And you trying to find a reason why that's okay. That shit would not, that's not, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So let's see what else I got to talk about here. Oh, this sounds interesting. 7 deadly mistakes that lonely women make. Why some women will never find love or love a boyfriend. There are 7 categorical reasons why some women have difficulty finding and loving a mate. These have evolutionary and biological roots that divide the sexes in behavioral proclivities. All these big fancy words. I am not saying this is what women should do or have to do to get a man. What I'm saying is these are general things that some women tend to do and men tend to take exception to and why they do. Here are the 7 things. Okay, so where are they? Shit, I must have dropped this and now it's like I can't find what I'm looking at. These pages are out of order. Okay, well anyway, let's just go with this. Being too clingy is one. All humans fear intimacy when another person moves towards you, your brain's default response is to move away. That's only if you're not really feeling the person. If you feeling the person, then they move forward and you move forward too. So yeah. Being too clingy, though, that means if you move forward and he moves back, that means he's just not feeling you. Because a man who's feeling you that way, he's gonna be moving towards you. You won't have to move towards him. Then the dudes that be like chasing you, like around the kitchen and stuff. They like you trying to cook, and here he come back hugging you, rubbing on you, patting on you, kissing on your cheeks and stuff. I mean, I can't agree with this. If a man perceives you to be too clingy, then that's not the man for you. Because men, you know, a man who does like you is gonna be clinging right back. Okay. So if a guy tells you you're too clingy, just understand what time it is. He's not feeling you like that. So just move on. Failure to Stroke the caveman. What? Historically, men have always protected women. However, everyone has moved on. Women need condoms, not men, for protection. Most men could not physically protect a woman if they had to anyway. However, men need to feel like their woman sees them as a big manly man. Ah, okay. Well, you're only gonna be seen as a big manly man if you are one. Ain't nobody trying to blow smoke up your ass and pretend like you something that you're not. Not gonna happen, son. Okay, then this one, he says, okay, intellect. Intellect is a cortical event, whereas emotions occur in the old brain where there's no real thinking, just survive now and ask questions later. Okay, so they talk about that. Talking about other men. Okay. That goes in reverse too. Men who talk about other women. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Ask a man how you look. Wow. These are seven deadly mistakes that lonely women make. That's what we're reading off of here. Okay. Asking how you look. Why would you ask a man how you look? Why would you do that? How do I look? Why would you ask a man that? Why would you do that? You need advice right now, then you pay $10 and I'll give it to you. You can do it on YouTube. They have the, what is it, super chat? Or you can cash app me, Debsterism. Debsterism, and then where's my phone? Yep, it's right here. That's what you do. Other than that, these questions that I did earlier, these were pre-submitted questions. So anybody who wants to add to the conversation, that's what it is. Okay, then the next one is too much hugging and talking. Oxytocin causes women to bond with their babies because women have more oxytocin receptors than men. Hugging and conversation causes oxytocin release in women, whereas it releases nothing but anxiety and gas in men. Observe a man. They are generally primarily communicate in monosyllable words. Yep, cool, nah, huh, nope, whoa, as well as grunting. If a man strings together more than 4 polysyllable words together, it is a wedding toast, a eulogy, or a lie explaining where he has been. And he probably got it from Google. Forcing conversations on a man is a surefire way to turn them off and drive them away. Remember my video where I talked about how to talk with men and that every sentence with a man should be 5 words or less? Come eat dinner right now. Take out the garbage. Take a bath. You stink. 5 words. That's really about all that they can handle. Once you women who love to talk, you start using all in words, the he gets dizzy and he turns off after the 5th word. I'm telling you. Try it. You got sons and a husband, start talking to them in 5 words. They will just be like all on you listening because that's the extent of their ability to hear what you got to say. You women that want to explore your feelings with, tell it, well, and then I went in here and then I saw this and that. And then it smelled so good because I had this far. Okay, you lost him. You took a left turn and he's gone. He's out here, nothing you talking about. That's not how you talk to men. You have to talk to them very directly. Okay? You got to talk to them very directly. If you don't do that, he's not going to be interested in what you're talking about. And that's just the way it is. Okay, so who's too much hugging and talking? Let's see what else they got on here. Yeah, see, these pages are all mixed up. Oh, I don't know what this is supposed to say. Oh, well, anyway, let's move on from that. What else do I have over here? Oh, this is another piece about rejection sensitivity. Signs of rejection instance and how it can affect you. Interesting. Signs of it, your facial expression. People with rejection sensitivity often misinterpret or overreact to various facial expressions. For instance, one study found that individuals higher in rejection sensitivity showed changes in brain activity when they saw a face that looked like it might reject them. How does a face look like it might reject you? Can anybody explain that to me? I don't get it. How does a face look like it might reject you? That's bizarre. Heightened psychological, physiologic activity. When people with rejection sensitivity fear they may be rejected, they experience heightened physiologic activity more than individuals without sensitivity to rejection. They also remain alert for more cues that they're about to be rejected, and they may even exhibit fight or flight behavior. Misinterpreted behavior, hypersensitivity to rejection will often cause individuals to distort and misinterpret the actions of others. For example, when friends don't respond to a text message like right away, a rejection sensitive individual might think, well, they no longer want to be friends with me. Whereas someone without it might be more likely to assume that the person is just too busy to reply right now. Right. So in other words, people with rejection sensitivity are stupid. That's basically saying you jump into all kind of conclusions based on nothing. Like, do people just hang on their phone just waiting for you to text so they can respond back in 1.5 seconds? Shit, people text me, they might not hear from my ass for days because I just don't be checking on my phone like that. But all my friends know that. They say, well, if you send her a text, don't look for her to respond in less than 3 days. And if she does, it's a freaking miracle. Okay, attention bias. Additionally, individuals who rank higher in rejection sensitivity often pay more attention to rejection or signs that they were rejected. This is known as attention bias. For example, if someone high in rejection sensitivity asked 10 people on a date and 9 accepted and 1 declined, they would focus the most on that one rejection. They might even refer to their dating attempts as a total disaster and start to believe that no one likes them. Okay, in other words, dumb. Interpersonal sensitivity. Individuals with high interpersonal sensitivity are preoccupied with all types of rejection, but perceived rejections and actual rejections. They're also vigilant in observing and monitoring the moods and behaviors of others and are overly sensitive to interpersonal problems. They crave close relationships, yet they fear them at the same time. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Causes of rejection sensitivity. Okay, we talked about some of those in another article. Childhood experiences is one. Biological vulnerability is another. The impact of rejection sensitivity. You have a constant need to be liked. That's rather unrealistic, isn't it? So people pleasing type because you're afraid of being rejected. I could see that. I could see that. Difficulty making connections. Romantic relationship problems. Causes people who struggle with rejection sensitivity often interpret rejection as good, that they are unacceptable in some way. To them, rejection is a judgment of their worth and value as a person. And in relationships, this belief system can be disastrous. Absolutely. Like somebody never can tell you no or turn you down. They just lose their shit. Adults with rejection sensitivity who are in romantic relationships will likely experience ongoing relationship problems. They often misinterpret events and reactions because they're hypervigilant about being rejected. And that's kind of a drag because everything that happens, they want to make they try to make you feel like you have to constantly be concerned about their feelings and how they're going to take stuff and hurting their feels and making them feel wanted and talking to them nice and all this kind of shit. It's unrealistic and it makes for a real struggle in a relationship. You can never just tell somebody something because you got to always consider how they're going to take it and if they're going to feel bad about it and stuff. That's why I don't give a fuck. So I'm gonna just tell you and you just gonna deal with it. And if you start crying, then you just cry. I don't know what else to tell you. I can't do that because you're constantly monitoring yourself and what you feel and what you think and how you talk to them and everything else because of how do you think, how they're going to come off and feel all rejected and start crying and stuff and feeling like, you're condemning me, poor woe is me and all this old stuff here. Don't nobody want to be bothered with all of that. It just makes it makes the relationship too hard. It makes it just too hard. It's just too much of a struggle. So, what time is it? I'm ready to go now. I done finished all my letters. Oh, it's almost time anyway. So, anybody got anything to say? If you want to call in and make a comment about anything that you heard today, there's the link. This is your last chance. Right there's the link. Make your comment. The next show or our next 4-hour live stream on relationships and social issues and whatever else we're going to talk about is next Saturday. And it's week 2 of March Love Madness. It starts at 3 p.m. Pacific time and goes until 7 p.m. or as close to that as I can take it. But that's next Saturday. So go on the YouTube channel and set yourself a reminder, or on the Twitch channel. So you set yourself a reminder and then just, come on through and share your story. If you want to submit a letter to be in the column next week, write to go to the Debsterism.com website, Debsterism.com, and then the Vice form is there. I think Shay's been putting it in the chat, but in case you're not, on YouTube, you probably wouldn't see it. But it's there and it says get advice. You click that and fill out the form and press send. Okay. And then we'll have your letter for the next show. So we had let's see, it was 26. So we actually had 28 letters today. It still wasn't enough. So I guess we had to go for 30 next time. I know Tracy's happy because she wanted me to stay here for like 2 lifetimes. And so she gets sick of me, then she'll be happy. So anybody got any questions? Going once. Last chance, going twice. Click the link if you have something that you want to say. I'll be happy to hear your comment about the programming or, suggestion you got for next week, a topic you want to talk about next week. If somebody suggested rejection sensitivity, and that's how we got on that. I had never really heard of it. I mean, I didn't know it was a thing. Let me put it that way. I knew there was some sensitive ass people out there, but to think that it actually had a name and there was it was talked about amongst psychologists and stuff. I didn't know that part. Yes? No? Then I guess I'm a deuce out then because that's as close to 4 hours as I think I need to be. That's good. We did good here. I had enough content and it was interesting, I think. Hope you guys learned something, especially learning what not to do in your relationship. That's the main reason why we do this show. So you can learn from other people's mistakes, okay? And not do the dumb shit and make the stupid decisions that they made and get your ass in a noose like they did. Okay, so be smart, make smart choices. If you need any kind of other systems, put your keywords in the search this channel box and find it, because I'm sure there's at least one video on any topic that you could come up with on this channel. There's more than 1,500 videos here. A lot of them don't show up if you just say display. You have to search. You have to do a keyword search, because whenever I started this channel, 2012 or something, 2010. So it's content going way back. So you just do a search for your keywords and your stuff will pop up. Yes, Tracy. All right. I'll see y'all then next Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's 6 if you're on the East Coast. And what time is that? 5 or 4 or something in the central time, whatever it is. I'll see you then. Enjoy your rest of your weekend.